I'll show you the sweetest delight in the garden. As a surprise for Adam.
Really?
Come.
All right.
Here.
But this is the one tree in the garden we cannot touch. This is the forbidden fruit.
Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden? Surely not.
We may eat the fruit of any tree in the garden, except for the tree in the middle of the garden. God has forbidden us to either touch or eat the fruit of that tree, for if we do, we shall die.
You believe that nonsense? Of course you will not die. God knows that as soon as you eat it, your eyes will be opened, and you and Adam will be like gods yourselves.
All of us one day will reach the level of the avatars that we have read about in history, the Buddhas, Jesus, infinite ones, God.
You ain't your servant, you cast your spell up on this planet with your graven images and your wishes to be worshipped. Witches and warlocks flock like Harry Potter fans, waiting for your new age plan to spread across the land. You got the masses dumped down where you want them, convinced that you don't exist, and now you got them atheists. Some even think they're evolving to a godlike level above and beyond human. These Luciferian lies feed on ego and pride. They come disguised as an angel of light, like the original sin and the first deception. The tree in the garden, don't you see the connection? It's the same old lie that he used back then at the beginning of time, at the fall of man. Have we forgotten the truth within the book of Genesis? Ignorant of the nature of sin, so we dismiss written words of God as an irrelevant myth, but then embrace all these new age thoughts of nonsense.
It's not good or bad. There's no God waiting to punish you because you didn't want to touch it.
There is no God in doing everyone is God. Welcome to the kingdom of heaven, without judgment, without hate, without testing, without anything.
I call my practices and pagan worshiping as act exists. See through the smoke and the mirrors and the mist. From Atlantis to the American fanatical myths, to the UFO connection with the German SS. Secret society elitists from the east and the west. Illuminati and Masonics, man, it all connects. Satanic worship to the depths we don't want to admit. It's a globalized illusion that we gotta correct. Check the symbols and signs like the all-seeing eye. Read the Bible facts to understand the great design. See the writing on the wall, we're living in end times. And even the elective now bought into the lie. Real Satanists are dressed up in their suits and ties, eating the fruit like these fools who think they are divine. They aren't evolved, they're just blinded by ego and pride, living a lie that disguised like Jekyll and Hyde. Can you deny that these times were all prophesied? Read Matthew 24:24, you decide.
There's no such thing as good or bad. Judging these times.
All right, what's going on, everyone? Steve J. and Mo. It is the 17th of June, 2020, allegedly. And I got the old trusty TruthSeeker69 by my side as always. Oh, reliable. And we pulled along Bobby Stevens for the ride tonight. What's up, Bobby?
Old reliable, huh?
Oh, reliable.
Wow.
And she's muted.
And she's just yelling at you mutely.
I know. I'm in trouble.
You can leave out the old part and just say good, reliable jet. You don't have to put the old in there.
O-L-E, you know, not old.
Old. Okay, I gotcha. Like old boy.
Yeah, like good old Jen. Oh man. Well, it's good to see you guys. Good to hear from y'all. But yeah, so I don't know if you've been listening lately, Bobby. You said you didn't have much reception where you were and whatnot, but we've really been going the opposite way of where everyone else is looking. Everyone's looking to the future. What's the future going to hold? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? But like we all know, like we all have the common understanding that it is his story, and it's a pretty shitty story because it seems to repeat itself over and over again. And it's kind of getting old. So it's getting, a little predictable on our part. And to see what the future holds, we got to see what happened in the past. And I've been doing that for the last couple of months, and just in my neighborhood, I found many things that don't add up. Buildings that were allegedly built in 1900, 1800, even 1600, but on them, especially the 1600 one, doesn't say 1636, the establishment of Springfield. If you look it up, that's the establishment date. If you look on the monument put up in 1636, it does not say that. It says I-636, which Jen has introduced to me. That means in the year of our Lord 636. So the timeline's really messed up. It's really messed up, which kind of, it leaves a lot of doors wide open. It shuts some doors that I thought were open before, and didn't really open many that I thought were going to be open. But it's interesting that, because we all know about the story of the flood and Noah and whatnot, but the Bible was written a long time ago, and a lot of things could have happened between then and now, and they call that the Dark Ages. 1,000 years of pretty much nothing, which I have a hard time believing in. So I'm under the impression that the Dark Ages, they just put the 1,000-year timeline in there to cover up for things that happened around around that time. So, and the deeper we look back, the more technologically advanced we find things.
Also, adding 1,000 years to this timeline helps out with their fake history, as far as telling us that certain things are ancient or older than other things, and that whole lie part of their history.
Right. Like, I'm not questioning that Springfield was established 400 years ago. That's probably a fact. But the year 1636 and the year I-636 are a little different. Just a little. An I, a one. I mean,
that's 1,000 years.
Yeah, I mean, if they were going to do it all in Roman numerals, they would have done it all in Roman numerals. So you can't even argue that the I is just the Roman numeral 1.
The guy just got lazy, He was just like, he did the 1. He's like, I'm just gonna do 6, a regular 6.
Right. That's how all this stuff seems to add up. It's like, oh, we're just gonna bypass that, and here we are. It's ridiculous. Like, I look at stuff that was built, I don't know, who even knows how long. Like, the things I really want to look at later, the 25 most amazing ancient cities or ancient ruins in the world, stuff like that can't be built today. Cannot be built today. I live in a wooden house, put up, plywood, a little bit of glass, not really, sound technologically. These people back in the day were living in stone castles that were hundreds and thousands, maybe thousands of feet high. Who knows, man? Who knows? Because half of it's underground somehow, and it makes no sense. And it's been blowing my mind. You look at basilicas and even Vatican City. There's no way human beings with the technology that was available back in the year fucking 6 built Vatican City. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make sense. So that's been in my mind for about a month, which is why I've been laying off the whole mainstream, like, all this stuff, contact tracing and whatnot. Right. And we all know what the end game is going to be. You want to defund the police? That works out for them because they have 5G and contact tracing everywhere. So when you get out of line, you'll just get a shock to your fucking invisible 5G shock collar. It's that simple. We saw this coming, and these people let it happen because they stood up for the wrong rights, Yeah.
Or like in China, where they have the citizen credit score. Depending on how you act, you can do certain things with it. But like the whole thing about it too, like I noticed when I learned the truth, I was like, well, I think the reason why they make it seem like it was so long ago and humans did all these great things with nothing is just to put us over the God thing. Like, look how smart we were. Look how great we were with nothing. We built this. And it's just like, it wasn't that long ago, bro.
Right.
Like,
right. They don't admit that they had help. Like, even if humans did build this with some sort of like we were talking about yesterday, Jen, like an acoustic levitating machine or whatever, something like that. They didn't wake up one day and, oh, that's my invention. I'm going to make this up. Like, nah, someone came to you, whispered in your ear, or you're just messing with a black cube or a Ouija board back in the year 12. And it fucking told you some blueprints, like channeling all this stuff for the Nazis. That's how they got their blueprints for a time machine almost, the Glock. You know what I'm saying? Like, through channeling sessions. And it was all in ancient Sumerian, so they had to go all around the world to get translations and find these ancient places. And it sounds like a movie, It sounds like some Indiana Jones shit. You got to go over here. You got to get writings off the wall over there in Egypt, make your way down to South Africa. Then
have you seen Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
And the one that came out in 2017.
Yeah.
In that movie, the god Ares is going around whispering the like calculations of like certain like napalm bombs and all types of shit to these people so the humans can figure it out to start wars.
Yeah, and that's one of the fallen angels. He came down and taught war and metallurgy and stuff like that, making weapons and everything.
And he got the hard end of the stick out of all of them. That was Azazel. He was the only one that didn't impregnate the woman of the earth, as far as I could tell. But he got the worst end of the stick because he taught them. A lot of them taught root cuttings, but among everything that Azazel taught root cuttings. What is it? Not face painting, their makeup, war, how to make weapons. Yeah, he taught them all that stuff. And God was like, oh, hell no.
All the beauty stuff that women use today was taught to us by the fallen angels, and it has to do with the what's it called, Jezebel, the Jezebel spirit, and to make women seductful over men.
Like the sirens.
Yeah,
like the sirens of the water. Yeah.
And that put issues between men and women. That would make men look at women like they can't trust women. They're shady. They're just trying to manipulate you with their beauty, or bewitch you with their beauty and stuff to get you to do things or to be on their side or whatever like that. So everything that the angels taught humanity put division, all these divisions in. And
look where we are now. We're divided as heck. And if this keeps going, and you know what I've noticed everywhere, this is gonna get a lot of people pissed off. Let's put it that way. Everywhere you look, especially the ones that don't support this whole thing, that are like already pissed off. You go on Amazon, you go PayPal, you go anywhere on the internet right now to make a transaction. There's a banner that pops up, BLM. We support this, blah blah blah. And ironically, they're doing, those companies are doing fantastic. The ones that aren't really doing really well right now, financially. Starbucks took a huge blast the other day. You know why? Because they don't have that ribbon everywhere like, all these other places, Burger King and Amazon. And it's ridiculous.
That type of mentality, if you don't have a certain ribbon or a certain color or a certain whatever on, then you're the enemy.
Exactly.
They did that in Germany, supposedly, if you believe in the Germans and the Holocaust and everything. They labeled the Jews with certain types of cloth that they had to wear on their shirts that was cut out like a Jewish star. And and then when people saw that, they knew who they were and what was going on with that whole situation. They're trying to acclimate people into that same type of mindset.
Right,
when it comes down to is the people in your house vaccinated? Do you have your plaque outside or on your mailbox that says this is a vaccinated location here? If you don't have it, you're the enemy. You don't get all the perks in life.
Yeah. Well, what they're kind of trying to do with putting the BLM logos everywhere, I think they're trying to antagonize the people that really don't support this movement, get them more pissed off, get them thinking irrational, get them to grab their guns and go to the street, and then create civil war. And once that happens, the military will move in. That's ironically just in place already to step in if something like that were to cap off. So
and the thing is that if you don't support it, right, like if the people who are going around to see who's supporting this stuff, they're going to deem you whether you're the enemy or not. You know what I mean? You might have no feeling about it one way or another, but they're trying to force people to take a side. You know what I mean? I know it's all fucking bullshit. I know the whole COVID thing is bullshit. I do not participate in fucking bullshit. So,
Neither.
I actually had I told Steve earlier, one of my friends who I've been talking to for a long time, she's kind of like on the fence. She texted me this morning and she was like, do you have time to talk? I was like, yeah, I got a couple minutes in between my jobs. She's like, okay. She's like, what is with COVID? And I was like, are you sitting down? And I explained everything. I showed everything really quickly. And she was like, I'll text you like an hour. I need to process this. And then she comes back in an hour and she's like, what about the earth? And then I just went again and just showed her all this stuff. And then like, she keeps hitting me up every 2 hours. Like, what about this? And what about this? And I just said, look, just promise me when they come to your front door and they say you must take this or you can't participate in society, don't take it. And she's like, okay, I promise. I'm like, I really hope you mean it because like, I think you're a cool person and you're a good person. Please listen to me, please, because everyone else thinks I'm crazy.
a lot of people will acquiesce once they realize it's a life-threatening situation, or if they see everybody else that they know and love doing it.
Right. Well, they'll put leverage over. They're like, oh, do you want access to your bank account this week? Gotta get the chip. Yo, you look like you've gone hungry for about 5 days. Do you want the mark yet? They're gonna starve people out. But eventually they'll give too. Once they have enough people in the system, they'll be like, all right, you guys can go F off. And, there could be a line of fire. It could be the guillotines that, are kind of prophesied. Or it could, they could just throw us in the FEMA camp, or they just, we're banished from that part of society and we got to live in the woods where it's been scorched because, third of the earth is going to get effed up. It's what it talks about in the Bible.
Scorch? Like the Maze Runner people?
Something like that, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. All these movies are portraying some sort of scorch or nuclear something happens and the end result is a scorch, So I don't know if the nuclear radiation or nuclear bombs have anything to do with it, but that could be the cover story for something that's going to happen. I mean, Fukushima's been leaking for what? A long time, and yet
we could have already been dead by now.
That's what I'm saying. There's no real big thing like that. I don't glow green when I come out of the ocean,
Yeah.
I feel like that should be happening by now. If that was even the real case, they could be just some sort of like nuclear or not nuclear, like subatomic free energy sites. I could see something like that, and I don't think they're leaking anything, but if you were to drop some sort of explosive on top, it could could do something. I feel, that might put a hole in the ground. Who knows what these things really are? But if they were leaking for this long, we'd be gone by now.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm so tired of like history repeating itself, and now it's repeating itself within the same year. Like we started the year off with COVID. And then people slowly stopped believing in it. You could see the kind of tide turning. Like people on my Facebook are like, is this even real? Like what's going on? Because I've been outside every day with no mask and yada, yada, yada. So then all of a sudden, like I told you, Steve, I was talking to my mom. I'm like, don't you think it's odd that all of a sudden, as soon as like they kind of slow down talking about COVID because there's nothing else to scare us with, all of a sudden a riot breaks out and now they're talking about this. And now we're back to COVID again. It's just like how they're repeating the same process. Now Fauci's on TV saying, oh, baseball can't play until October because there's going to be a second wave coming in October. I'm like, oh, so you mean it's going to bleed into next year, which would be 18 months because it broke in November. So
yes,
next year will be 18 months.
And what did they say at the beginning? 18 months till the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have a plan and they're sticking to it and they're dragging us right along and they're keeping us trauma-based mind control the whole way. The only way they can pull any of this off is if they do that to us. It's fear-based control. And everybody's falling for it. As a matter of fact, you can see the division. Like when I used to go out into public, it was just like you couldn't tell who knew what and who didn't. Now you can see the division everywhere. You can see the masks, the no masks, the Black Lives Matter crap, and whatever else is going on. Because I don't feed into none of that bullshit. And it's just like it's so in your face. The divisions everywhere. It's like you're standing in line next to somebody who has gloves and a mask on, and they're spraying their cart down. I haven't worn a mask or gloves during this whole fucking thing, and I have not been sick once.
It's ridiculous.
My job's trying to like from the top down. They're basically saying now, like if you are in a store or if somebody calls and complains and they say, "Oh, I saw a guy that works for your company not in a mask in a store," like we can get written up or fired for it.
Wow.
So now they're forcing it that way. Well, now my job depends on it. So like if I want to go to 7-Eleven, I got to go wear a mask.
And they'll have secret Santas everywhere. Just paid.
Bro, I don't even eat anymore during the day anymore. Like ever since I came back, I don't eat. I have my gallon of water with me the whole time, and I don't go in the stores. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Fuck it, dude. I'm right behind you.
The kid sitting on Santa's lap this year. Did you wear a mask all year, little girl? Were you good?
I can't wait.
Christmas is gonna be interesting, guy. I don't know.
It's not gonna happen.
Christmas. I don't do Christmas anyway, but
no, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The traditional American Christmas. I don't see that being a pleasant event this year. I don't know about you. I've always thought and talked about how if you're gonna hit them hard, hit them when it's cold. Or when it's scorching hot, because if it's scorching hot, you can't save all the meat in your freezer. But if it's cold as balls out, you can kind of store it. But I feel like these guys are going to hit so hard, you're not going to have time for all that. You're going to be out of your house the next day,
It is so, like, now that I left and I came back, especially going somewhere so far out there, like in Washington State, like I did.
You take a
back
flight?
now, It is so crazy. Like I am like blown away. Like people look like now they have like writings on their mask. Like there's a hashtag in Philly called hashtag mask up.
Come on.
I swear to God, it was on the radio today. Mask up, Philly. Mask up. I'm like, what?
It's like that Future song.
Right?
It's ridiculous.
They want everybody to participate in their ritual. And they want everybody to consent to this because something's coming down the pike. And you have to be mentally conditioned for whatever that next thing is that they're bringing down on us. And it's crazy how this is all unfolding. I watched a video the other day. It came out like 2 days ago of a funeral parlor in, I think it's Bronx, New York, or maybe it's in Harlem. And this guy, he's a funeral director. He does all the embalming and dressing the bodies up and everything. He's like, oh, the bodies are stacking. I'm going to be doing this until September. I got people calling left and right. And they show him like, putting makeup on one of these. They didn't show the actual face of the dead person, but you can tell he was there putting all old people, first off. Okay. And, so they're trying to really ramp it up for the Black community that, all these Black people are dying and stuff like that.
Right. Real quick, isn't that ironic how right before this whole George Floyd event happened, that was like the latest thing in the news, like, oh, the Black community better watch out. It's hitting the hood hard, And now this happens, and it's like, well, forget about that. We just have 2,000 more cases in Florida, but go back to what you're saying. It's just
what they're saying too is that Mr. Fauci was on saying too long ago with we watched the whole Robin Roberts interview with him, and now
Robert
protests, now the numbers are going up. Are you telling me these people are going from the protests, firebombing stores and breaking windows to over to the tent to get tested? How do they know fucking numbers are going?
Test me now.
It was less than 24 hours.
The sites are still empty and the hospitals are still fucking empty. What the fuck is going on?
It was less than 24 hours. They happened in Philly too. They were like, when Philly started, the first day Philly started rioting, I was reading it and it said, like the day after, there was like 19,000 new cases of coronavirus, and literally the first comment was like, "Shut the fuck up! Not one of these people have gone to get tested. Stop."
I know, it's all bullshit. They even took one of the tents down in the parking lot here. They used to have 2 tents in that parking lot. Well,
you got kicked out of one of them.
Yeah, well, there's only one test site around here, and there's never nobody there. And they had 2 tents up. It was like you go through one and then you go through the other. And now they took one of those down. And I still drive past that place. Like I said, I can't go over to it like I was before. But when I drive past, there's nothing going on. Still, the hospital parking lot still empty. So where are all patients? Where are all the regular people, the everyday people for all these years who've been going to hospitals, doctors, having operations? Where are all these people? What's going on? I mean, it's just like
they got laid off too, I guess, They got laid. You can't have your surgery because you might get COVID down here.
Yeah, and how do these nurses and doctors not figure out what's going on? They're all getting laid the fuck off and furloughed.
But they're brainwashed, dude.
It's crazy.
It's no coincidence that the Snapchat filter for the last 5 years that all the girls have been doing is the face mask. Mm-hmm. Exactly, Bobby. It's ridiculous. Normalizing
predictive programming and normalizing it. That's right.
On a mass level.
People have ADHD from social media and tell lies to your vision. They get a 1-hour program on TV. It starts out rough, but in the end, it all works out. And then you move on to the next thing. So people don't even remember what happened 2 months ago in our own reality because they're so focused on the current thing, which is fucking chaos, and the next chaos coming down the road. But it's just the whole mask thing that's been going on for quite some time with Snapchat. I even thought it was kind of weird when I first saw it a couple of years ago. I'm like, what the hell is with this mask thing? And that's just, this is how they condition people, and people need to really just get off social medias. I know we're on a platform right now going live, but some people are so addicted to these platforms that this is all they do all day long. Mm-hmm. So they're automatically, they're willfully programming themselves. This is like, shooting fish in a barrel for these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. Before we go to the next thing, did you see that George Floyd teacher's name?
No.
She came out. She's an old white lady. Her name is Waynell Sexton.
What?
And like people are like, I'm like, dude, her name is Anal Sex. Like it's Waynal Sexton is her name. And I'm just like it's so bad. Like it's so obvious.
That
Thumbs
Bobby,
down.
do you remember that Japanese plane crash or something? And they were talking about the pilots who were on the plane, and one of them was like we're fooked now or something.
Yeah.
Like that kind of shit. That's what they're doing with this lady's name. It's one more way to tell you guys, not us and everybody, but to tell them, hey, it's a big fucking joke and it's on you.
It's like the laughing Dr. Carver from SH, you know?
Oh, I hate that guy.
I know. My brother came to me about him like a couple weeks ago. He's like, you see this sick son of a bitch? I'm just like, I saw him years ago live. I'm like, I didn't really fall for it. I had no feelings towards it. I watched it with no emotion. I wasn't like crying or whatever because I was ironically suspended from school that day, you know? And what's a 15, 16-year-old going to do all day? You know, nothing. I just sat there, watched, you know, went about my suspended school day, woke up real late, had a nice breakfast, and turned on the news, and then it was the first footage, and I was just like, where's all the ambulances and whatever? But, you know, I'm 15, 16, couldn't really figure it all out, and I look at it, you know, 4 or 5 years later with new eyes and, you know, a wider mind. And I was like, wow, dude. I'm like, there's a reason why I was suspended from school that day, you know?
You know,
I had to see it then.
People need to ask themselves, how come at any other time cops flip the fuck out if you're trying to video them? This particular day,
he loved it.
The guy's down on the ground screaming he can't breathe, which is all these little memes that they're put out, flatten the curve, wear a mask, I can't breathe. That's no accident neither. But that day, people were allowed to stand around and video this cop supposedly killing this guy. And it's all good.
Ridiculous. It is.
T-shirt too. I can't breathe. All the black communities are wearing them as like a thing. It's just like, dude, like you don't get it.
Right. It's like, where have you been for the last 4 months?
Yeah, exactly. You can't breathe because you're wearing a fucking mask, you jackwagon.
That's the best part about it. Like, it's so directly tied to wearing a mask.
Yes.
That, like,
I want to just make a T-shirt like, we can't either.
I'm telling you, these people are sitting back, laughing their ass off at everybody who's going along with all this.
If I see one more post on my Facebook feed from my friends, quote unquote friends, about how Donald Trump's going to drain the swamp, I might just end it.
Donald Trump is the swamp.
Right, he's the gator.
Is still not in jail. What was his words? If I was president, you'd be in jail. Well, he's president.
Well, you are
running the fuck around, and the swamp has grown. It hasn't shrunk at all.
It's so creative because you know what? Like I said, like I always tell my friends, look at everything as if you're watching like professional wrestling.
Yeah.
So, because like every year there's a different heel, different bad guy, different baby face, different good guy. So this year and like the last couple of years, it's been Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump as the heels, and now all of a sudden, like people like the leader, what's her name, and president of Germany. Now she's like a baby face. She's a hero to people.
Yeah.
Like, when did this happen? And now that's another thing. World War III is going to happen now again. Apparently, that's another restart from the beginning of the year.
Nice.
I'll tell you what, 2020 sucks.
Hey, they're doing a good job.
I know. I look at I remember saying back in February with you guys, like, where are we going to be at in June and July? Like, what is that even going to look like to us? You know, who knows what September and December is going to bring? You know, I mean, it's just like, they can't see. The thing is the kids aren't back in school. So usually when the kids go back to school is when people are getting sick around that time, because, you know, the kids are touching everything. They bring all the germs home, and then the parents get sick and stuff. Well, the kids aren't in school now, and they're not going to be, apparently. So that should be interesting. I think this is the most healthiest time that anybody's had, really. I haven't been sick at all. Some people were sick maybe in the early part of January. But, you know, maybe it took a little long to kick whatever that was, but they're good now. Convenient for them that the COVID has so many different symptoms for so many different people. You know, either you have mild case and you don't even know you have symptoms, to mild symptoms to extreme, like death. It's ridiculous.
And the thing is, too, we've been doing nothing but lowering not us, but like, you know, the general public's been doing nothing but lowering their immune systems over the past 4 months by washing their hands, antibacterial you know, I got to sanitize that. I got to stay inside and not get the sun that kills germs, by the way. We got to stay inside. We got to social distance. I don't want to be near anyone that promotes good health anyways. And,
close your door, lock your
go back to
windows.
school with no immunity, and everyone's going to get something, Might not be COVID.
I told the girl at the gas station, they have from the ceiling, they have these wires hanging down, and then there's this square plexiglass, right? That's just swinging around, right? And I go up to the lady, because when you go up to this fucking square, you're right here at it, because you got to look down, you got to put your. I put my head around the thing and start typing my number in for my card, and I said to the lady, I said, this shit doesn't work. There's air all around it. She's like, yeah, I know, and I'm like. I mean, I know she doesn't own that gas station or nothing, but it's ridiculous. And this has all been pre-planned. All this shit was ready to go. I went to the liquor store. This was about 3 months ago, went to the liquor store, and they had plastic from the ceiling down to the counter. And I go over to the post office, which is across the parking lot a little ways. And I go in there. They have the same exact plastic. I mean, it's no mistaking that it's the same exact. Where are they getting their plastic from? Who's delivering this plastic? The same people who's delivering the bricks out on the sidewalk for people to throw at windows?
That's one where I thought maybe people would wake up to a little bit with the bricks being placed. And they're like, oh, well, I'm like, what? You know what? Well, who's putting them there? Why are they there? And all of a sudden, riots start there the next day? Yeah. Nothing's weird to that? Well,
Have you guys seen the fake plywood? That's just paper that's taped onto the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're faking this on both ends. Like I said in the beginning, when the first day this happens, I'm like, there are agents on both ends provoking everything. There's some guy who doesn't care about the BLM movement, but he's going to burn down Target because someone in his earpiece just told Target down. That's how it works.
I saw
and
that.
Then there's cops that are just, really
agent provocateurs and
the
they
undercovers.
Both sides.
Yeah.
With their earpieces and their
umbrella man. I saw umbrella people all over the place. There was Washington.
People need to realize the war is on us. They are the enemy, and the first thing you do in the art of war is divide and conquer. And they're dividing us on every level. I mean, you could just see the division as soon as you walk out your door.
Yeah, no lie. But all right, I feel like enough talk about the doom and gloom of the whole COVID reality and
COVID.
the riots and whatnot.
Did you guys watch the rocket, the SpaceX?
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. The nice glitch when it took off was great too.
I watched one recently where
3-2-2, nonetheless.
It was. Yeah. I don't know if this is the one you're talking about, but the one I watched recently it was landing. And then click, it went off, and then look, it landed. It's like
good to go. Good to go. How ridiculous is that? And then you look at Tesla's stock.
The water's always choppy around this thing, and it's just sitting there.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, it's so good.
Space is. I just don't understand how people don't see how any of that is real. It was most of that was just CGI. They're just sitting in some Disneyland thing. It's ridiculous.
There was a mouse on the ISS on the outside.
It was so funny.
What are we talking about?
Oh my God, dude. They just laugh their asses off at us. And especially when the majority of people buy it and then they sit back and watch all of us debunk it all and tear it apart and stuff. But as long as they got that 51%, they're good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like watching the same movie every day over and over and over again. It's not going to look any different. But if you, don't watch it for a couple of years and then rewatch it again, you're going to be like, wow, this movie sucks.
The art movie. It's called The Truman Show.
Yeah, absolutely. We're in a couple movies, actually. We're in the middle of V Vendetta, Transformers, all this stuff. The Matrix fucking 5G. It's ridiculous because they have the 4 coming out, right? Matrix 4. I heard that's coming out.
Yeah, it got pushed back the next year because of darn old COVID messing up everything.
Wow, it's interesting. Real quick, we'll just before we move on to the next topic. But during this whole COVID lockdown baloney, dude, how messed up and how terrible have all of the mainstream Hollywood actors been looking? Ellen DeGeneres is dead, dude. Celine Dion, she's dead.
Have you seen Madonna lately?
Dead, bro.
Jesus.
Dude. Jen, you're muted.
Nobody can hear anything I'm saying. Okay. So Ashton Kutcher, he looks like he's been rode hard and put away wet.
They're all done,
and now
dude.
another actors now coming out like they're trying to like give back to the people. So like Danny Matheson, whatever, the guy from That 70 Show, he's now been, he raped some girls, and the comedian Chris D'Elia, he's been grooming underage girls. Like they're trying to throw some bones to the public. Like, see, we're getting them, we're getting all the baddies.
Right. Yeah, just so stupid. Tom Hanks been looking like complete garbage too during this whole lockdown. He was the one leading this whole thing with a Corona typewriter. I'm going to go to Australia where they're filming a movie about Elvis. And he got, he was the first dude to get polio vaccine publicly. Just ridiculous. Not the year anniversary, the 1 year birthday of good old Bill Gates, William Henry Gates,
And his beautiful husband, Melinda.
Yeah. What is she? I keep forgetting. What did she just do? She donated like a bunch of money to what? I keep forgetting.
I don't know what she donated to, but I know she was on TV saying the first people that are going to get the COVID vaccine are the African American community. Yes. I was like, oh, shocking from eugenicist.
Of course, right? And then Tom Hanks is donating his blood for the cure.
The Hanksian, not his blood. No, he wants your blood to get it. Like, what's going on with all these people? They need our blood. You have P. Diddy, who's a billionaire. He's asking us for donations. Like, what are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, it's a fucking joke. It really is.
Oh, yeah, it's all a joke. And, me and Bobby kind of saw this coming when we started seeing Ric Flair show up at NBA events all of a sudden.
Bro.
That's how we knew this was going to be like the fakest season yet. And, just like we said, they're going to move to no fans like they are for the playoffs and whatnot. And you're not going to be able to prove it if it's live. So it's going to be even more scripted than you even know. You don't know if they're just going to hit cut real quick. Like LeBron needs to make that dunk. Like, get out of the way.
You think games were fixed before? They're really going to be fixed now.
Do you think they're going to have because I know in basketball, like I have this feeling, I don't really care who wins. I don't give a shit. But for a fixed standpoint, I feel like Philly versus LA would be a good story because of Kobe.
Oh, yeah. Then LA's going to take it over 4-2 because it's 42,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. It's either going to be them or it's going to be them versus like the Celtics or something. But
the game is rigged, guys. And
it's been rigged for so long.
Oh, my goodness.
All the games, especially the game of life, it's rigged in their favor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you figure it out. It's easy to point it out. Like if I don't know if you can't tell that the Lakers are not going to win, they're going to win for the next 6 years or the next 3 years. It's just in the script. They're literally doing the Space Jam movie, except with LeBron James instead of Michael Jordan. Because when everyone got sick in Looney Tunes, they got sick. They lost their basketball powers. There was a suspension. Now they're coming back. He's going to be all juiced up and. That's going to be it. It's going to be the same story, just with and the funny thing is, who does Space Jam 2 feature? LeBron James.
And they just did this like big old thing on Michael Jordan called The Last Dance.
Yep, exactly.
And when they talked about the flu game, quote unquote, where he was real sick, he actually had food poisoning because he ate a whole pizza to himself. I just love how they keep throwing these things in there like pizza. Oh, he wasn't sick. He got sick of pizza.
The old 33.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, Pizzagate.
Oh my God.
Pepperoni pizza.
He actually, I think it was pepperoni pizza.
There you go. They love their pepperoni. I love pepperoni pizza. They ruined it for me.
I know.
Bunch of sick bastards, man. Bunch of sick. But all right. So let's get into some of this ancient archaeology or unexplained technology. The mud flood stuff. How familiar are you with that, Bobby?
A little bit from watching y'all.
Okay. So I'm just going to do a screen share real quick. And this is randomly at a college just about, 20 miles from my house, maybe, like a 30-minute drive. And you just tell me what's kind of wrong with this, Like, nothing really significant there, but that's just randomly there. Right outside the Arts Center, of course. Just a random steeple. And the funny thing is, you walk over to the plaque, and it's admittedly underground. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's the whole church. There's the whole church. There you go. There's the whole church right there, but this is all we see.
Isn't that crazy, dude? That's so crazy.
Yeah. And if you do read this whole monument, it talks about how they make updates and they refurbish it throughout time, but literally either got deconstructed and brought down and leveled, or you could enter through one of the doors that I find and, work your way on down probably.
And you see that window right there on the steeple is the one that you're standing in front of.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I zoom in and point that out. Yeah. Like, it's right there.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. And that was one of the first places I went to, and it just blew me away. And I was like, what is the purpose of just having, this in the middle of a school? Like, why is that here? Did they forget to do something? Like, that's big in nature, and it's on a giant hill too. Like, here, let me pause this, stop this screen share, and let me show you what the rest of the campus kind of looked like, because it was crazy, dude. So crazy. Like, this whole mud flood stuff is just nuts. And you see all these stone churches that are everywhere. Some of them made the flood. There's a couple that are literally identical in my neighborhood that look just like that church would have been, but it's not underground. There's more than just a steeple showing. It's the entirety of the church.
Yeah, and they're not going to take down a whole church and just sit the steeple. First off, the steeple wouldn't survive. You'd have to deconstruct it and reconstruct it at ground level. And it just doesn't even make sense. Clearly, the only thing that makes sense is that this thing either got mud flooded or melted into the ground up to the steeple, one or the other.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is crazy.
I think Sweeze wants to join us. I see him here in the chat.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he here? All right. Here, let's get through this, and then I think I heard a bump on my Facebook. Let me just find a couple of good buildings first. Oh my goodness. Having technical difficulties over here. See, look at that. You've been missed, Bobby. See? Bobby.
What up, bro? I
so many people were asking us what the hell happened to you.
I was so like, my depression got to a point, and I said either I need to leave or I might do something stupid. And so my aunt's like, come out to us. So I talked to my boss about it, and he was like, just go. Like, your job will be here when you get back. Just go. So I went for a month, and it was the most beautiful time I ever had in my life.
Well, I'm glad you got to go do that. I'm glad you're back.
Oh, I'm back.
He's back, baby.
I'm ready to go. I'm pissed.
Well, dude, get ready to get really pissed, because I don't know if you looked into like Masonic lodges before, and like, how for me personally, when I picture a Masonic lodge, I just, in my head, I've always pictured just some little shitty wooden house on the side of the road that has, a couple windows blocked off for the ritual room, because that's what I see mostly around here. But here, I go downtown Springfield, and that's just the sideways, but that's a Masonic temple, my friend.
Yeah, it actually looks very reminiscent to the one in Philly. Remember we looked at that the one time?
Yes, we looked at that before. Yep, and we looked at it again afterwards. Huge, bro. But like, now it's claimed by the Springfield Arts Center, just like that. Right behind the steeple was the Arts Center of whatever, and it's got all this crazy writing on top, dude. Like AL5924. What did you, Jen? You looked that up. What did you find on that?
That would be the date that this building supposedly was constructed in that other calendar that we were talking about. Because if you look at the AL and the date for today's current date for that, it's like 60 something, six. I don't know. It's definitely has to do with their alternate calendar thing that we were talking about.
Right. And the funny thing is, later on in the video, you'll see on the side of the building on the bottom, it says like 1904. And I'm like, no way. Even if it was 1904, why aren't all buildings made like this, like sound, like withstanding the tears of time? Like, look how pristine this stuff is. Like, look at the top of the pillars. perfection all the way around.
Hey.
Human architecture back in, even if it was the year like 1890, 1902, impossible in my opinion.
How come that building has George Floyd's tattoo on it?
Well, I wonder why.
That's weird.
But how come the George Floyd pictures in the videos from the arrest showed him with no chest tattoo? That's the funny part.
Or hair when he first got arrested, and then no hair when he's on the ground.
Yep, and then he's got
was
like
the
a nice
casket
LeBron
closed?
James hairline.
Why was it a closed casket? Everybody's talking about how the casket was too short, but nobody's understanding. It was closed. Why wasn't it open?
Wasn't it gold too?
Yeah, it was like a gold closed casket. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? And who paid for this fucking
$13 million his GoFundMe went to.
I was about to say it was 15 now, but yeah.
Oh my god.
Who gets that money?
He does it alive.
I'm
sorry. He has a twin brother. They said they saw him with his twin brother out with his daughter.
He has to have a twin brother, or else the plan wouldn't work.
Sprinkles. Oh wow! Of the arts.
Yep.
What kind of arts?
I don't know. Maybe the Masonic Temple arts that's still up there.
Now, don't you think that's unusual, Bobby? That it switched to the
just
whatever.
run away there too.
Yeah, and that now it's an art building, but they left that plaque up that says Masonic Temple. I was telling Steve that most likely it still is a Masonic Temple. That parts of it are probably still in use.
Oh, for
they
sure.
took that down.
Oh, they didn't forget nothing.
No, I'm like, see you later.
Even their Illuminati symbol above Steve's head there is still up there. The all-seeing eye pyramid.
It looks like that part of the building with the pillars and all that cool, stupid shit up there. It looks like they extracted that from like a different time and just put it in there.
Bro. Like, oh, let's go back to Cairo in the year fucking 6 BC, or whatever, and grab a couple pillars, make 4 of them, and bring them to Springfield, Mass. And like you could see that this entire building, it's on a rather big hill. If you go down State Street, it's like a 3-mile hill.
Where's your mask, bro?
I don't give a shit. But look at this.
Okay.
Remember this, Jen?
Yes. Now, I don't know if Bobby knows about this, but all the U's have turned to V's.
I did not.
So I don't know what it is with these buildings, but somebody pointed it out a couple of years ago that the etchings on these buildings have where it would be a U, it's a V now. And I found it interesting that he had that there. Truth,
fraternity, and harmony with the old compass, nice G in the middle.
They're so gross.
Right, bro. Like,
I
it's
hate
ridiculous. Dude, right. And I'm just like trying to go down the street and find some mud flood buildings, and I find a giant Masonic temple. And I think I find the date there on the side. Yep, there's the AL, blah, blah. Yep. Says it all.
And there's another V for June. UN. So it's not hard for them to make curves. Clearly the 9 is curved, the J is curved. Why is the V not a U? You know what I mean? It's weird.
And they claim in 1924 when this was built. I highly doubt that.
Yeah, right.
I feel like it was discovered and repurposed in 1924 after something happened, because the rest of the buildings I find downtown are rather interesting too. Let me just fast forward a little. And like real quick, that was old architect, really sound. It's been up for probably like 200, 300, 400 years, maybe more than that. And now we make shitty buildings made of glass like this and plastic.
Yeah, crappy pillars.
Right, like wannabe hollow pillars.
Yeah, a tree falls, that place is done.
I wonder if it's like the way, like, because even like the Roman Coliseum still standing and still sound, it's got to be like some kind of like secret geometry bullshit.
Oh,
they know.
there.
Hold on.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, when you're looking at the face of this church steeple, you can see bricks that are popped out looking.
Yep.
That's what we're going to be taking a look at today when we get into my stuff. That is from heat.
I agree.
When the event took place, whatever mud flood event took place, whatever the event was, it came with a lot of heat. And this is the way that the bricks react to this type of heat. And even when we get into the next thing that I'm going to show of that one place where the bricks are melting all through the building, I mean, clearly these things have a different nature to them when they're exposed to. Okay, and I wrote the heat down for bricks. It's like 1,000.
Oh, we were looking at it. It was high.
1,200 degrees to bake bricks, right? So whatever happened to these bricks was way hotter than 1,200 degrees.
Yeah, because liquefying was like 19 or like 2,200, right?
Yeah.
It was crazy. But real quick, I want to point out, don't forget about the miniature pillars they have here,
Or
they probably
if you go
remade
back
the
a frame or
doorway and
two,
just made it an homage of, because they can't make fucking, 30-foot pillars anymore, 50,
Right.
60-foot pillars. They just make these little joints. And they got the nice red door. And if you're at a Catholic establishment, you got a red door. Everyone should know what that means by now. They're not worshiping the uppercase G God, the only God.
right?
Who knows who they're worshiping, but it's, most likely not God. You go into a lot of churches, you see giant statues of Mary and Joseph. It's like, okay, what is? Yeah. I know, like he gave birth and Joseph watched him and whatnot, but at the end of the day, like we shouldn't be idolizing them. We should be idolizing, Jesus Christ and Yahushua and Yahweh. And,
Can you go back a frame or two, real quick? Yeah, right there. So when I see this, I see the Great Pyramids of Egypt.
I see you too.
You know what I'm saying? Like a little wink, little nod, like, hey.
Oh, yeah.
We know what's up.
Yeah, and it's funny, like, where do they get all this brick from? Me and Jen we've been thinking that the what is it? The Grand Canyon is just one giant mining operation.
Oh, dude, you can tell it's in mind. It's perfectly cut.
Yep.
Perfectly. Smooth. Right. Exactly.
It just fell apart like that? Stop it, dude. Stop. Oh, dude.
Little interesting church here, and like this is like in the middle of the hood. Let's just
the hood in Springfield, Mass.
I'm even starting to rethink like a lot of houses that you see with red doors. Maybe that's their nod to each other, that they're Luciferian, and because I always thought that was odd. You see that in England a lot. You'll see these random houses or flats with red doors and stuff.
You know what I've been noticing, Jen? Like since I've been back, which hasn't been that long. When I go to people's houses, on people's sheds that face the street, they have pentagrams, like stars on them.
Yes.
Like they're hanging them.
Okay, so you'll find that in different places. Like if you go to Hobby Lobby or Cracker Barrel or wherever, and you're looking at their outside decorative stuff, they'll always have that star, the 5-pointed star. Mm-hmm. Back in the olden days, witches put stars up so other witches knew that they were witches.
Yeah.
All right, let's play what building sticks out here, Bobby.
Okay.
Probably this one, huh? Like, doesn't look anything like some modern tech. It's got some angels fucking sculpted on it and shit. Look at the doorway, bro. Look at that door is not made for a human. They had to make a separate little door. They had to fill it with concrete down about 6 feet?
Right,
about a 9-foot door. That's a door for a big fella.
Bro, those steps you put on your Facebook the other day.
Oh,
that fucked me up, bro. I passed that around to everybody. I'm like, who is these for, bro? Who are these for?
Right, dude. Look at the windows. Those are a human body would fit in the window.
Right.
Windows are meant for like looking, not like walking up to and shit. It's ridiculous. Just this random little whatever. You got the brick. When you see brick sidewalk, that's old school people. All throughout Boston, Springfield, all that stuff.
Philly.
Yup. So check this out. This is City Hall. This is where the mayor does his work. Only been here since like the early 1900s, allegedly. I find that hard to believe. This looks like something right out of Athens.
Yeah.
Right? Blew
me away. I graduated, not in this one. There's an identical building next to it. I graduated in that building.
Yeah, so right on the other side of this gigantic tower is the same exact building as the one we're looking at now.
Literally.
And why would you build another building exactly like your city hall?
What is that?
This is the monument I'm going to show you in a second that was put up. Well, yeah, look at this Antiquitech, though. Look at the perfection.
I mean, it's beautiful looking.
It is.
Exactly. The Antiquitech was built right into the buildings. And when you look back at like the fairs and stuff and you see how they're lit all along every angle of the building and everything, it's because those spires and little things that they put up there and it's all just built right into the architecture, the free energy, everything lights up.
Yep, and you can see how clearly these buildings and the original monument here in Springfield, which was built in 1636 allegedly, when
And
this was established, you can see they're clearly sticking out of the ground, and you need like 15 steps to get up here. You needed what 9 or 10 steps, and that was on another platform of 9 or 10 steps for the other building. So they're clearly sticking out of the ground unproportionally. So they had to build these stairs.
Yeah, and then they got the huge door right there.
Huge door. And I don't know what this was back in the day, but I feel like this is where, like, you know, the chancellor came out and gave his speeches right up there. And there you go, people. There you go. There's your I-636, I-5852 in the year of our Lord, not 1960 or, you know, or 1636. That's not what it says. Those are clearly eyes.
Yep.
Clearly eyes. It's like you said,
But at
Bobby,
a glance, though,
you got bored, you know?
you can get away with that at a glance. Like, oh, yeah, 1852.
Yeah. Some of the older ones, like on coins and stuff, it'll be a J.
Yeah. Just undeniably an eye. But like you said, at the glance, no problem. But if you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, you got your, you know, whatever. And like we said, right next door, identical building. This is Symphony Hall. You know, you got a couple steps to go up and a couple more. Fucking moss growing all over the side of the building. I don't know if you saw that, but clearly these have been here for a while.
Yeah.
I gotta like go back to get a full picture of it. You can see my bald ass head.
Bro, I wish my head was bald. My hair is ridiculous. But
So,
it's my protest to my work. I'm not cutting it. They want me to cut it so bad. I'm like, no, I'm cool.
I'm good. And real quick, so that's the giant tower built in 1636 or I-636, right? So let's go to the knockoff building made of complete wood here. This is the original chapel, the first chapel in Springfield.
Wow.
This is the juvenile courtroom. That's the back of it, but I think I didn't show the date on this one. Where is it? Sucker. Oh, yeah, it's right there. 1657 or 1637.
It's
so, what's that? 55? Oh,
57. Oh, no, 37.
37.
Wow.
So in 1 year, we went from making giant freaking whatevers. You lost that technology. Now you got to make the knockoff building made of complete wood. You see what I'm saying? This is 1637 allegedly, and when we get over here, you know, that's probably older as well. It's just ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. Like, what happened? What happened in 1 year?
That looks like a castle, dude.
It's a castle. It's the juvenile freaking courtroom. And it looks even crazier out front. It has like 2 giant stone balls in front of it.
Of course, got two big balls out front.
Yep, this is where the new casino is downtown. They refurbished that mud flood, but yeah, see the 2 balls to the entrance?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the orbs, whatever you want to call them, the eggs, you know. It's how they roll. These people are just all messed up. And like, you know, mud flood buildings they go from anywhere, you know, even just regular buildings like, I mean, all those brick buildings most likely, but even something like that, you know, that doesn't really fit the script. I think that's all I did, but yeah, you could tell over here, you know, they got the lines across them, Jen and whatnot, but it's just crazy. So crazy.
I think J Street put up the current date now, which is 6173. I'm trying to confirm with him that's what it is. But, you know, it said AI, whatever, on that other building.
Yeah.
The current date, I think, is AI 6173. I think that's what he put up there.
Oh, what do we got here, Bobby?
I started looking for like old Philly buildings because they look exactly. And then like apparently like so this is the first bank of the United States, and I saw it and I just started laughing to myself because this is like the dome that's inside or something like that. Like, and as I saw this, you're like, well, if you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, I'm like, well, hey,
there's the eye.
Literal eye.
Absolutely, wow.
Looking at you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, see, these are the buildings I was talking about. Like this is South Philly.
Looks like we're straight out of Rome or Athens or
look at that.
Who knows? Right, bro. Look at all that.
Yeah, on top is the eagle, I believe. The next picture probably gives you a better look at it.
Yeah, the art museum's one of these buildings too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's an eagle with whatever, you know. But look, like even in here, like you have, I don't know what that says, MDC something underneath the thing. But again, it's like, who built this? Look at it.
No, dude, something. I don't know.
Someone who knew exactly what the fuck they were doing and had plenty.
If you zoom in all the way, like above the eagle, there's like these little, what looks like little like U's built in. Like, why?
That's the Antiquitech. That's the shit that probably lights up the building from the outside.
That's where all the energy flow go like womp 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 womp, and it would light up. It's nuts, dude. It is, no doubt.
Yeah, like we line our houses with Christmas lights at Christmas time. Well, these places were built with this technology in them. So when nighttime came, everything just lit up.
Man, if I could just see, go back and look, just for a second, because like it's so interesting. Like mud flood stuff, I'll be up all night looking at it. I love it so much.
Oh, I know.
I'm gonna send Squeeze the link.
I dare you to.
See, I've missed Bobby's little sense of humor like that.
Yeah, right?
All right.
I had this book. I need to like take pictures of it, but it's like called Old Philadelphia, and it's like it shows you neighborhoods and stuff. And there's a couple pictures of where you can see them digging out like a street, and it's like maybe 15 stories below where the street level is, and there's like another street underneath.
Yeah, bro.
Another railroad underneath. I'm like, who was using that railroad? If this
like houses
in the 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
dude,
nuts.
We looked at some crazy shit. People were going into caves and stuff and finding buildings in there and everything.
Yeah, I saw not where you guys, but I like on the Travel Channel. Sometimes they'll have like weird findings, and it's like in caves they find this, or in like there's like I think Steve put it on Facebook, I believe. Yeah. There's like a whole underground quote abandoned train station.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Right. What was that about, dude?
With like grand staircases and shit.
Yeah, dude. It's like they just found that and they didn't have the right technology to make shit move down there.
No, someone built it and said, you know what? Let's put over top of it.
Yeah,
right. I don't like
it's ornate. It's got, you know, precision brickworking and like stained glass windows and stuff. It looks like something out of Wonderland. But you know what? Let's just build this crappy other railroad station. It'll be all good. Smells like, you know, piss and everything.
So crazy. Crazy.
They want you to believe that we're in this little ball, in this little speck in the sky from outer space, and we mean nothing. That's what they want us to believe. They don't want us to believe that we're like that we came from like these great things, that like we could do great things, or God has given us great things. They want us to believe we're stupid and we're just dumb little beings on a ball.
Yep.
Absolutely. But you know, let's take 5 real quick, guys. All right, if that's cool. All right, we'll be right back. Do not go anywhere. The truth is on the way.
I just wanna live and dream, but nothing is as what it seems, and baby, it's making me crazy. I just wanna fight and scream. There's nothing left for me to say. Fear shot to defeat the day. I know that I can control it, so it doesn't have to be this way.
I'm really sick of living, stuck and trapped in the system. You're just a brick in the wall, and I got my back up against it. I represent the resistance, they want me back up in prison. But I'm the master of my path, and I won't slack on my mission. You're lacking the vision, so I'm just gonna cut to the chase. They hide the truth in plain view, right in front of your face. I used to think the world was normal, but that wasn't the case. We're just some goyim on a hamster wheel, running in place. Turn up the bass, I grab the microphone, and all I do is rock it. This little light of mine, I let it shine, and you can't stop it. But there's nothing these corporations just won't do for profit. This fake-ass world that we live in is sick, it's truly toxic. If you don't see it that way, okay, then keep talking. Don't bump into that wall while you're sleepwalking. The alarm is going off, I hear it beep often. I'm at the double doors of truth, I'm gonna keep knocking.
I just want to live and dream, but nothing is as what it seems. And baby, it's making me crazy. I just want to fight and scream. There's nothing left for me to say. Fear shot to defeat the day. I know that I can control it, so it doesn't have to be this way.
I refuse to just go quietly into the night. There's forces of darkness at work and they're restricting the lights. I'm so fed up with the lies, they tell us this isn't right. It's ODD TV, you best believe I'll get up and fight. This is my plight, I'll never let you cowards get the best of me. Took the red pill, now it's time to fulfill my destiny. Living like I'm Neo, dipping from my P.O. Tripping on me cause I am the one and he's a zero. Hot like a jalapeno, bringing heat that you just can't avoid. I call out bullshit and lies, they call me paranoid. People are just foolish, full of hate, they get angry. Point out the truth about reality, they label you crazy. Just a glitch in the system, you're a critical thinker. And no, they don't want that. Fuck them, give them the finger. I do it every single day with each and everything I say. I'm not living like a victim, it doesn't have to be this way.
I just wanna live and dream.
All right, we are back. We are ready to go. So, facts, baby. So, real quick, Jen, before we get into the melted stuff, let me just show you what I've been kind of like raving about for the last couple of days here. Something that I have to go check out for myself, but I randomly found driving. Well, the entrance at least. There's a little thing out in the woods in Chester, Mass. They're called the Keystone Arches.
Wow.
And there's just a bunch of arches out in the middle of the woods.
Huh.
Look at these. One of them is actually still used for a train rail system, but the other like 3 or 4 are just, beat.
Wow.
But still completely up, sound, giant arches. You don't see nothing like that anymore, in the middle of the woods.
Wow.
Like literally, like I know you guys don't know Massachusetts at all, but anyone up here knows that Middlefield, Beckett, Chester, that's the sticks, and just right along the river, right where they probably should be, right where civilization probably, started over here. You got to have a fresh water source, and these are just everywhere over there. It's interesting.
Now, when people say stuff like, "Oh, you're looking too far into something," I'm like, okay. What were they used for?
Right, bro.
Why did someone build them? Oh, well, what? Tell me.
Like, look at this stuff. And, like, I know Jen will like all the brickwork everywhere, too, with all the stones right here and stuff, too. I thought that would catch your eye, too, and how it's all just slanting down as well.
Oh, yeah.
Just so crazy. And the water is, ironically, crystal clear. So, I mean, like, worst case scenario, when I just found a new bug out spot.
How old is it?
I'm not sure. It
was built to last. This was architecture. They weren't fooling around. The shit that we build today is either glass or steel frame buildings and stuff. Even bridges.
Oh, yeah. He walks up to it here. And I don't think I shared audio on your part, but I'm just going to listen for a sec. I think he reads a little bit. Maybe not. All right. Maybe he just kept going. But you can tell it goes right along the railroad tracks too out there, which is kind of interesting, I guess. But eventually you work your way up to this one. And these are all completely different ones. You see there's no like crazy rapid rushing water here at this one, but completely different. It's a little harder to get to. But you can get on top of it. Oh, see, this is where I think he starts talking stuff. No, maybe not. Nothing. I think these were built in probably late 1800s allegedly, but I highly doubt that. And here's another one. Look at that. And what he points out here is that when they put the railroad tracks down, they specifically tore down a bunch of trees over here so people could specifically see this when they drove by on the trains. That's what he points out as well. Like, look at that. Like literally something right out of like Scotland or something, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It just doesn't fit the time, the architect, the technology of the time. It doesn't fit anything. And look at this one coming up. It's a double bridge. Look at this one. It just ducks down underneath the roadway. You know, because where he's walking is pretty much like level, and it looks like a lot of dirt, mud, sediment just kind of settled on top over X amount of time, and now you got the woods. You know, it's ridiculous. Yep. Actually, I don't think this is the double, but where is the double bridge? Because I know you'll love it. It's so crazy. I think this is it here. No, maybe not. This is some ruins. Oh, are you kidding me? I know it's something.
Interesting though. The way those ruins look, they look like they have heat damage as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one that the train still goes over, the double arch.
It's eerie looking now.
It is. It's kind of right. It's kind of frightening. I wonder if these were here when the Native Americans got here. You know, I wonder if they knew a little bit about this.
I think they knew all about all this shit, and they just stayed away from everything. They stayed out like in the woods and in the plains and stuff where, you know, none of this stuff was, because they had to have seen all this stuff. They were all over America, you know?
Oh yeah, of course. Like even that the scary place I talk about in the woods up in North Adams, it's called the Hoosick Valley, the Forbidden or Forsaken Valley. You know, like they didn't go there. That's a fact. Like the Mohawk Indians, they lived in the valley. They didn't go to the Hoosick mountain range because they knew there was bad deities there. Unfortunately, the awesome smart white men, that's being sarcastic for any people viewing this, like, oh, whatever, but you know, they didn't listen. They tried to build a tunnel through it, and the day they got done originally, there was an explosion and over 200 people died.
Yeah, but even in our current reality right now, there are tribes of people that live in the jungles that have never left their little area and don't know nothing about the rest of the world. So say that happened before the reset, that there was people here in America that lived out. Oh my God, Sweeze.
I figured I'd get dressed up.
Nice.
Put on my bow tie and everything, you know.
Where did you get that?
I got it on Wish. It took like 2 months too.
Yeah, because it came on a boat from China.
Damn right it did.
Came on a boat from China.
All right, so the ant people supposedly took the Indians down underground until the whole calamity thing, war, whatever it was over, and then let them come back out and repopulate. Imagine today, in today's world, if these ant people took these tribes who have never known anything outside of their tribe, never left the jungle, don't know nothing about nothing, underground, and then let them come back out after the reset. You know, they wouldn't know nothing about our history or anything that happened. That could be something like what we're looking at, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, what's going on, Sweeze? How you doing today?
You know, man, I'm just chilling. I really needed to talk to some actually intelligent people for a change. You know, it makes me go crazy after like so much time.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, I don't know if you're in the right place, but
hey, you know, sometimes
I'm offended by that. Don't call me intelligent.
sometimes you gotta settle. You know, you gotta settle sometimes.
I agree.
oh shit. You guys met each other, Squeeze and Bobby? Y'all met each other yet?
I
No.
don't think so. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hi.
How are we? We good?
Why is nobody on camera, man?
Because-
Are you guys social distancing right now?
Yes.
Terrible. All right. I get that.
Can we spread the squares out a little bit? We're too close. 6 feet apart.
Close. No,
Yeah,
let's get closer. Now we're
I
close.
was eating a sandwich, so I had to go off screen.
Making a
You
sandwich.
were eating a sandwich?
I was. I'm done now.
Why not? I would love to watch you eat a sandwich.
I'm sure you would. Not today.
That sounds like good TV right there.
Yeah, right.
So what are you saying, ant people?
Yeah, the Hopi tribe has a their creation tale or whatever is that there was some kind of event that took place. The ant people, these people who live underground, they call them the ant people.
So they're not really small. They're not really small.
No, they're not small.
They just live underground. That's it. Okay.
They just look like ants. Yeah. Took them down underground and kept them. Yeah, there's some ancient depictions of them on these cave walls and stuff. And took them underground to safety for a certain amount of time, could have been a couple of years even, until the dust settled, and then let them come back up and repopulate.
Well, to them, what could have been a couple years on the surface could have been a few hundred years because how time dilation possibly works inside of the Earth.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what that spiral thing is there in the center. There, like some kind of time thing or something.
Oh yeah.
And just like us, what if they kept telling the people underground, like from generation to generation, just changing their history as well? So then maybe they only thought they were in there for a few years based on stories, but maybe they were in there for like a few hundred years. Who knows? Yep. Just like us.
I don't know about you, but if something like this came up to me in my civilization and said, "We're here to help you," I'd be like, "Go back in your fucking hole.
Get underground with us."
Yeah, right. I'm like, I'll accept that.
I'm gonna write it out.
What is that thing? Is that supposed to be like a whip? Or like,
yeah, bro, what is this thing, dude?
What is this?
He's getting ready to beat some ass, yo.
That's their portal. They just whip
Oh,
out.
no, this is the portal. I'm talking this. He's got like a staff in it, man. He's like he looks like Darth Maul or some shit.
Hey, have you ever guys looked into the portal, quote unquote, in Arizona?
What is it?
It's a portal. So apparently in Arizona, there's these quote natural rock formations that supposed to like you can walk through them. Because the Indians back in the day, they did it a lot, where they go to different dimensions and beings will come out of it too.
Arizona portal.
Yeah, it's just a regular rock formation. It ain't nothing crazy, but the tales are that creatures and other things from different dimensions would come out.
That sounds like Skinwalker Ranch stuff right there.
Yeah, I don't. It's none of these. I'll find it for you, bro. I'll send it to you.
It could have been they did a ritual there in that little circle of rocks.
Yeah, I remember watching like it was like a History Channel or something kind of channel like that, where they did a whole story on it, where it's like these ancient stories from these Native Americans passed down, saying that this here you could walk through it, and beings would come out through the other side and talk to them. Of course, they were high as hell when they did it.
I mean, because they probably can't interact with interdimension like someone from another dimension unless they were high as fuck. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, the people who take DMT always say that they see like these machine elves, people call it. Like everyone who's ever taken it said they see the same thing, and they talk to them and they tell them things about the world.
Oh, it's like the Mandela effect, man. Maybe they're all just having the exact same.
I've heard of the machine elves. I've never seen them, but I've heard of them.
That sounds awesome. I've never taken DMT. It's one of the only things I still want to try. Sounds awesome. Either of you guys?
I've taken mushrooms.
Yeah, I've taken mushrooms.
I've done mushrooms like 100 and at least 50 times. At least. and mostly in one summer.
Nothing wrong with shrooms. I've done them a handful of times. I love
damn.
that stuff. You get that
Yeah.
little like. Sometimes you got to make a little fort in case something scary happens. You got to run back in there, you know, like safety fort, and you're like, we're good.
Sometimes, bro. Every time. That's mushroom number one. You make a fort, man. And number one.
I'm glad we see eye to eye on that.
Have you ever heard Steve-O's story? Steve-O from Jackass, where he used to do like the nitrous from like whipping hands, whatever.
Yeah,
and he said he would see people just like walking around talking to it's something like this.
Oh wow.
Where like
that has structure to it, dude. That was a building. That looks like
door.
And you can see like the lines like the melted rock and stuff. That's like crazy.
Hey, it reminds me of those cartoons where they blow up the whole house and then like the guy's standing in the doorway and that's
the doorway falls down over top of him. Yeah.
It's like, oh man, just lost my whole house.
Well, speaking of cartoons, since you brought it up, they took Elmer Fudd's gun away.
A what?
Yeah, they're rebooting the Looney Tunes, and Elmer Fudd, his gun's gone.
What's he gonna hunt?
My mom told me that. She said that the cartoons are taking away all the guns and stuff and everything. It's so ridiculous.
They're erasing Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben from the products. They're renaming them.
What's wrong with Uncle Ben, bro?
It's racially insensitive, bro.
How?
I don't know. But that's what they say. They're saying the reason why they're changing it.
Yeah, Aunt Jemima too.
Yeah, Aunt Jemima.
I don't understand Aunt Jemima at all.
It's Aunt Jemima, and her name was Jemima, and she made some fucking high fructose fucking syrup.
She was someone's aunt, you know. It ain't that hard to figure it out. I don't know why everyone's in a tussy fit about this. Not us, but like, you know.
This all started with the transgender stuff and accommodating them. You know, one person stands up and says, hey, there's no transgender bathroom here. The whole plant shuts down. They put in a transgender bathroom. But, you know, if one person stands up and says, this whole mask wearing thing is FUBAR and I'm not doing it, well, then, you know, you get fired.
Ridiculous.
Yo, so you guys know I just went to the emergency room because of these masks, right?
No, what happened? What did it get you at Lowe's? They had you wearing it too often?
Yeah, dude, for sure. So like I've been bitching about for like a few weeks now. I think you guys are aware that you know, I've been saying like people have different experiences when they have to go to work and wear a mask. It's much different when you go from like you know, being like a cashier or something, or like a salesperson or whatever. Like when you're doing physical strenuous labor all day, it has a drastic, way worse effect on your body, and I can absolutely attest to that. Like the past few weeks, it started off with just like a headache, you know, that just wouldn't go away for all fucking day, bro.
You had hypoxia.
Yeah, you were lacking fresh CO2.
Yeah.
Here's what's really interesting though is so while I was sitting down, so I went to the hospital like knowing obviously I don't have COVID because it doesn't exist, you know. So but I am using that to my benefit. I did take a CV test.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting. But what was really crazy is when I was just like sitting in the hospital bed, my oxygen level was at 100% the entire time. So as soon as they had me, the nurse came in and she was like, the doctor wants you to walk around hooked up to the machine, like around the hospital. And she said, I don't know why he wants to do this, but we have to do this. I obviously knew exactly why. Like these doctors, they can't be that stupid, man. I went to the hospital knowing that it was because of the mask and going to work with the mask on. You know what I mean? I knew that. I knew I had some sort of oxygen, like problem with like circulating my oxygen. You know, I knew that based on my research already. And
well, not only that, Squeeze, is that you're breathing back in the CO2, and that's toxifying your blood.
Yeah, exactly. So, so they hooked me up to the machine and shit, and the doctor's walking me around the hospital, and mind you, this is just me walking like really slowly around the hospital, and within like 10 steps, my oxygen level went down to 82 immediately. So did
you feel like it did, or did the machine just register that?
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like it's
Okay.
not it's not hard to breathe. I don't have shortness of breath ever. It's just when I'm moving around too much, I get really dizzy and
Your lungs are inflamed. That's what it is.
A what?
I think your lungs are inflamed. Inflammation.
No, bro, they took X-rays of my lungs. They gave me a CT scan. They did like shit to my blood work and stuff. Like literally every single thing was coming back completely normal. And dude, I knew they were. I actually videoed some of it. I was able to like hide my camera in my pocket.
They know that you were in there for lack of oxygen from wearing a mask consistently for a certain amount of time, right?
That's what I was telling them, but they would not admit that. What they told me was masks don't do that, and you can't believe everything you see on YouTube. And I was like, yo, I didn't say anything about YouTube. I read shit in the New England Journal of Medicine, and I talk to doctors. Shit. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, dude, you can't tell me. Oh, what's crazy too is these nurses, while they were like at the computer looking at my shit, like my vitals and stuff, they they would pull their mask down like to their chin, like not covering their mouth or their nose. So I would do it too, and I was just like, what are we doing here? Like,
exactly. It's ridiculous.
So they did try to. I let them know immediately that I was extremely educated. As soon as I got in there, I said, look, you're not giving me any, you're not injecting me with anything, and you're not giving me that test. You're not giving me that CV test. Now, mind you, I did have every intention of taking that CV test because that was the only way I was going to get the maximum time off from work. I know the test is completely bullshit, but I wasn't going to let them know that. I wanted to give them a real, make them work for it, I made them feel like dumbasses. So I got the feeling though that they really couldn't tell me it was because of the mask, even though they knew it. And I could tell they knew it because they were like sighing and like everything I was talking about, they would like, like they were exhausted that I was there, I was there for 7 hours before I took that CV test.
They were glad when you left.
They were like, this guy probably watches that Richie from Boston asshole. That guy's a dick.
Not realizing that, if you have two brain cells to rub together, you can figure out that this shit is not good for you.
Exactly. So, I didn't really go there for any help. I did want to go there just to reiterate myself and know that like the education that I've been getting about these masks are completely true, because I've been out of work for a week now and I do feel pretty fucking fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. And I've been taking interviews all week, so I won't be at Lowe's very much longer. I'm getting a job where I don't like have to do strenuous labor and shit. So, we'll see what happens. Oh, but one more thing that's crazy. So, when she was giving me the test, when they finally gave me the test, it took 7 hours to get them to get me to do it, which I was going to do it anyway. So, she's giving me the test, and she keeps calling it a coronavirus test. And I was like, what's a coronavirus test? And she's like, the COVID-19. And I was like, yeah, but why aren't you calling it a COVID-19 test? Because coronavirus isn't a thing. It's just a type of virus. It's multiple things. So how come you can't call it a coronavirus test? And she's like, oh, well, we just do that because it makes it easier for people to understand. And I was like, I think after 7 hours of me being here, you can understand that I am not one of those people that's not uneducated, So you can call it a COVID-19 test, and I'd appreciate it if you did, because that's what we're testing for, right? And she was like, well, I mean, it's a coronavirus test. And she could not say that it's a COVID-19 test because that's not a fucking COVID-19 test. The doctor even told me it has a 70% success rate. And because I told him it has a 50% success rate. And he was like, oh, that was like 2 weeks ago. Now it has a 70%.
It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And shame on these people who work in these hospitals and deal with people and treat them like this.
Exactly. So let me ask you this. So like, I basically, I'll tell you how it goes. So like, first of all, I made sure I knew exactly what they were going to do with the test. And you know how like you're supposed to go way up in the nasal cavity, like way up there. Yeah. So that's everything I've seen and read, but I think they just wanted to get me out of the hospital and give me a CV test. They didn't do it correctly because they only went maybe that far up my nose, like literally like that. They were like, "Boop, you're done. That's it." So like I think they did it for the money. They knew I didn't have CV because it doesn't exist, and you know, they just wanted to get me out of there. They knew I wouldn't do it if they stuck it way the fuck up my nose, you know. So they gave me a letter that says it takes 5 days to get the test results back. So I'm out of work. I'm excused from work for those 5 days. But if it comes back positive, I'm quarantined for 2 weeks. Now, my question for you guys is if this test has, let's say it's a 70% success rate, which it's not, that's fucking bullshit. Let's say it is a 70% success rate. So what you're saying to me with this piece of paper is if it comes back negative, I can go back to work and I don't have to quarantine for 2 weeks. But what if I'm one of those 30% of the people that your test is fucking wrong on? So you're sending me back to a public place with COVID-19, so your test fucking doesn't say shit.
It's no accident that they have all this misinformation going on. This is what causes their chaos, and out of their chaos, they'll bring in their order that they want everybody to follow. But you'll hear one thing on one station, something else on some other platform. All this conflicting stuff. Even this Fauci guy, 1 minute he'll say one thing, the next day it's something completely different. And that's just to keep people in that state of confusion, that chaos, that mental chaos.
Absolutely.
I mean,
so that's my story.
You sticking to it?
Beautiful story.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But no, so like CNN, I love them so much because they're so stupid. They literally came out with an article the other day saying that asymptomatic people can't pass on COVID-19 because it's like impossible or very rare to.
Can't pass?
No. They're saying that
they can't pass it on to anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm really stoned. Sorry.
You're good. So like, they literally came out with it. It was all over their website. They were talking about it, and yet nobody's sitting there saying, so what's going on? Why do I lose my business for? If asymptomatic people can't pass it on, which they said is 88 to 90% of the country.
Yeah.
Oh, so you mean only 10% of the people will die from it or pass it on? Kind of sounds like the flu.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, isn't it funny how just as you get 3-4 months into this thing?
What's his Fauci put on the in the 20?
People were starting to figure out what was happening, and then they roll in the whole race war, and then people are going to start figuring out that's nothing, and then they're going to roll back in CV with extra attached to it or something. It's going to be really interesting to see the way the rest of this year pans out, but definitely at the end of all this is a vaccine waiting for each and every one of us.
Yeah, absolutely. They know, well, maybe not every one of us. They know who's not going to take it by now. They might give them a quick tempter real quick, but hopefully they know that everyone here in the chat and everyone here in the screen's not going to be like, oh yeah, I'll just take it. No, it's not going to happen here. I'm going to resist on purpose so I can get the fuck out of here, people. That's the smartest way to do it. That's the only advice I really got. Unless you really think you can make it, like resist and take over a post or something. Do it. Go for it, But over here in my neck of the woods, we're beat. We're all beat. But we have a good little community, at least in my part of Springfield. It's not like I'm in, where it's all going down, in every inner city right now. It's not right now, maybe like a week and a half ago, it was a little dicey. Protests that turned into, unpeaceful protests and, police cars getting bashed, and it's just ridiculous. And a couple of weeks ago, there was a shootout on the highway, like you don't hear about shit like that. Like 2 cars going, on the highway shooting at each other, and the police show up and then they start both shooting at the police. I'm like, oh my God.
That sounds like a mob.
Dude, it's literally like Gotham City
each other until the cops get involved, and then they start shooting at the cops.
Yeah, there you go. It's just ridiculous, And then, like Bobby's talking about, the great people at CNN, they released an art, right? A story a couple days ago, maybe a week ago now, talking. Or remember in the beginning, guys, they were talking COVID. You can get it through the eyes. And like we were like, yeah, through the TV, we broke that down. They never really hit it again. They brought it back up again, and they're like, we have all this new PPE. We have these goggles that are normally worn in industrial complexes, but now you can, we're going to wear them for protection of COVID because it can get in your eyes. And I've worked in industrial complexes before as a tempering machine. You got to do like welding and grinding. The glasses didn't do shit. I take them off and still have black shit all over my eyelids and, shards of glass sticking in my face. It doesn't do nothing. So if a shard of, metal can get through those, what do you think the miniature little spectrum virus, they can only see on a super ultra, light microscope. That's going to go right through that bitch. So that's already cracked wide open to fail.
Yeah,
if the virus was in fact even real, which we all know it's just a psychological operation. Mr. Trump said it himself.
Everybody has viruses.
Has taken over the nation.
A virus is the byproduct of your body getting rid of stuff that it doesn't need. So
right,
it's DNA.
If you have a virus, that's a good thing. It's actually a good thing. That means your body's working, your immune system's working, and it's expelling out of your system.
Right, you ate too much Oreos, now you gotta go, be sick for a week. That's what happens. That's why, that's how you can tell the food nowadays is all bad, Everyone gets sick at some point during the year. It's because we've taken in so much toxic, you gotta release it at some point. Like, a dump a day ain't gonna do it.
It really blows my mind, like when I see these all these articles coming out, like remember when it all broke out, they're like, don't take ibuprofen. Ibuprofen makes it worse. And now, like a month ago, they were like, ibuprofen cures it or helps with it. I'm like, what?
Oh, I'm
cured. What is that? It's just like they just say shit. Like, let's see if anyone picks up on this, or like when Fauci says,
doing that for years though. Like they'll say, back in the 70s and 80s, coffee's bad for you. And then in the 90s, coffee's good for you. And then what was it back like? In the 20s, reefer madness, and now
madness.
Speed's good for you. It cures cancer.
Wine goes back and forth too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. It's bad. It's good. It's bad. It's good. It's bad.
Yeah, it still just make you cry.
when they give you an influx, an overload of information, they're able to put all this fucking crap in there, and then people don't know what to believe. So then they'll try to stick to one of their mainstream news outlets, and you can see who those people are. They got the gloves, the mask, the goggles. They're fucking going to get bread, and they're like decked out in fucking hazmat shit.
Oh, guys. I got to tell you what I saw yesterday before I forget. Oh my God. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? It was a day recently.
Please turn your head to the side. I want to see the side profile of what you got going on here.
My hair's crazy right now. Yo, I can do like a lot of crazy different shit.
I want to see your beard too, though. There you go.
Oh, my beard.
You got the chin strap going. That looks good.
I always have the chin strap. But yeah, like 2 days ago, I just decided to almost do the Peaky Blinders, but go a little bit further in and like, I don't know, man. I don't know what I got, but I'm fucking doing something. I'm doing something.
It looks good.
Try different shit,
Hell yeah.
You're not from the Northeast. Hey, I'm the same way,
Bro, I've always wanted to try every single different like style haircut, even when I know it's gonna look fucking ridiculous. Like when I was like 16, I grew cornrows.
I could see that on you.
No. You don't want to, trust me. I do have a picture on my Facebook still, but you don't want to see it, man. I look so stupid. I grew my hair out for 6 months, and I had my braids for 6 days.
Oh my gosh.
I just wanted to do it,
Anymore.
I just wanted to do it.
Spears just cutting her shit off.
Pretty much. Oh, see, you're gonna make me forget now too. So, dude, I saw the craziest shit yesterday. I went to Dunkin' Donuts, of course, through the drive-thru, and bro, in the drive-thru, they have a big ass sign right on the drive speaker that says fucking to wear a mask, bro.
Come on.
I swear to God.
In the drive-thru.
I swear to God, dude, I would have taken a picture, but I was too busy telling them how stupid they were. Like, dude, I guarantee you I got my coffee spinning because I literally told them, I was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like, I went up to the I went up to the actual window too, and they have 2 signs, like on each side of the window, says wear a mask with a fucking exclamation point and shit. It's ridiculous.
That's so dumb, dude. And it's just, it's just scaring more people into it. They're gonna be like, oh man, I saw it at Dunkin',
I love Dunkin', man. I love Dunkin'.
They have all right coffee. I'll give them that.
Bro.
Sometimes. Iced coffee is better. The hot coffee, they can't get that right for me.
Iced coffee is good.
I never get a hot coffee there. Always iced. Always iced.
No, I'll go up to Cumberland if I want a hot coffee, but I'm not going inside there because they're mass Nazis even harder.
Who, Cumbies?
Yeah, Cumbies up here in my neck of the woods. Every single one.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, honestly, like, every place I walk into, I never wear my mask, ever. And, like, people do it at Lowe's, too. The only place I wear a mask is at Lowe's.
Really? I go to Lowe's around here, and they don't give a damn. Just like 7-Eleven, they don't give a damn either.
What, about their employees or their customers?
Customers. I walk in.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. I watch customers walk around with no mask while I'm on a 30-foot fucking ladder moving heavy boxes with a mask on. It's fucking
40 hours a week or more. Ridiculous.
I don't think I'm going to go back.
These parents got their kids all masked up. You know what kids do? Kids run around and play all fucking day. You can take a kid to the store with you. They want to run around. And what are they doing?
Scan now and a brain scan around. They should do a brain scan now and a brain scan a couple months down the road. They're going to
seriously going to have
development, or it's just going to stop.
Yo,
and major health issues because of all this crap, and it has nothing to do with COVID. It's all because of wearing a mask.
And that's how I felt as well. Like, so I called into Rose's show and shit. Like, I was kind of explaining this, but it was hard to explain what was going on, like, internally with me. It's like my brain wasn't functioning as quick-wittedly as normal. Exactly. So. Yeah. Like, and that had a downhill effect on everything else in my body, absolutely. So, like, I was losing my coordination. I was getting dizzy. Like, if I touched my toes, I would fall over.
Dizziness and poor judgment are 2 of the signs for hypoxia, and then it's I think seizures and death are the last 2.
So hypoxia, I didn't hear that. Like, my doctor just said it was fucking oxygen saturation is what he said.
Oh no, it's CO2 saturation is what you had. You had overloaded CO2 going back into your blood. See, they're lying about everything, and they're okay with fucking killing people. This is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
It makes them a couple bucks. We all went over the figures they make on each reported death each time a ventilator goes out.
There's a special place in hell for the fraudulent.
I said that to them too about how much money they make off shit, because I told them exactly how the test is supposed to work too. I said, like, look, I don't want you jamming that thing like way up my nasal cavity and shit, like almost to my brain. And he was like, no, we're not gonna do that. It's literally only gonna go not even an inch into your nose, and it'll be in there for 2 seconds. And I said, all right, well, if it's that, then go ahead, fine. And that's exactly what they did. It was in there for literally 2 seconds. Bro, it was like picking your nose, man. Not that I've ever done that.
It concerns me that you say that they have to stick something way up your nose. In the olden days, this is how they would get people, give them a lobotomy.
Right.
Stick something up their nose all the way up there, and then they tap it up into the brain. And then after that, you're like, huh?
See you later.
For the rest of your life.
Right. That's why I asked them. So I said, if it's only going like less than an inch into my nose for 2 seconds, then fine, go ahead. So that's why I'm saying I know they did not give me the test properly. I was causing problems in their hospital, and I was like, yo, you're going to have to tell me like what's actually wrong with me, because like I wanted them to admit that it was because I was wearing a mask doing strenuous labor. Because even one of the nurses came in, and I was talking to her. Like, I talked to several different nurses, and I took like 4 or 5 different videos as well of my conversations with these people. So like one of the nurses came in, and I was telling her about, it's a big difference wearing a mask doing strenuous labor versus just sitting around and shit, So she was like, yeah, a few of the nurses were complaining a few days ago because they were getting winded and feeling like they were going to pass out because they had to roll people over, like that couldn't roll over themselves. And I was like, yeah, dude, like, so this is exactly what I'm telling you.
These fucking asshole fucking nurses and doctors go to umpteen years of fucking school and pay a shit ton of money and go into debt to all this stuff. And they don't fucking know that this shit is bad for you. I don't want these people anywhere near me. They should all be fucking fired.
People don't learn anymore. They just read from a book. That's not learning. You're just memorizing what a book says.
In college, yep.
But even if they read from a book, they would know this because this is
all they gotta do is look up hypothesis.
If it's in the book,
not exactly. If the information is infiltrated and they're not teaching it right on purpose, they're never going to learn the right way. They're just gonna learn
which is why when we say something to them, they're like, "What? No, that's not from the book I read. You're dumb."
Dude, I have actual like doctors and nurses that I personally know and grew up with and went to school with. I'm like, what do you guys know about exosomes? What's that? I'm just like, okay. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah.
How much you making, dude? Can I have it?
Dude, right, bro. I'm over here fucking trying to find TP, you know, like give me a break.
And that's another thing too. I think didn't we go over that before? Why toilet paper was flying off the shelves?
Oh yeah, because it had the numerologic or you know, right down the board, the exact same thing as mind control.
Literally everything is like this is going off without a hitch because people like we keep saying like with the vaccine that's coming because that's part of the event 2012 that it says after 18 months and 65 million people died. A vaccine came out and that's how it stopped, or 80 to 90% of the people were exposed to this virus, whatever.
And a lot of people didn't die until the second wave either.
Yeah. And I don't think like Fauci was just on TV the other day, like, oh, baseball, if you're going to play, you better be done by mid-October because there's a second wave coming. How can you get on TV if this was real life and tell someone you better be done by mid-October because there is going to be like, you know what I'm saying? Couldn't you say like, we fear there might be a second wave? To say there will be is a lot different than there might be.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
You never know what's going to happen.
Video about it, it gets censored. I put stuff on Facebook all the time. It gets taken down within hours. Within an hour, about if I do second wave this or promote a video of that second wave, you know, it goes down. Just like in the beginning when we were linking how 5G is going to be connected, not how it was connected, because that's how everyone got fooled. They're like, 5G is causing the coronavirus. I'm like, bro, 5G's not up yet, but when it's up, you'll know. You know, and now they want to defund the police. The whole surveillance system is going to work out perfectly. We are literally heading to the gray state trailer, especially.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now listen to this, guys. Like. This is about hypoxia. Our body needs oxygen. We need it 24/7, and our lungs and heart are constantly working to make sure we have the constant supply of oxygen that we need. It is a process that we don't usually notice, but it can become very noticeable indeed when something goes wrong. Like when you put a fucking mask over your face all day. Hypoxia is the medical name given to the body not being fed the oxygen it needs. Hypoxia occurs due to a variety of causes and can range in severity considerably. It can be fatal. So anybody showing signs of the condition should seek medical attention immediately. 10 signs of hypoxia. One is rapid breathing. Let me see if it's going to give me the rest of them here because I got a bunch of ads in the way. Of course.
I'd love to see it.
Gotta like scroll all the way down through the ads to get the rest of the fucking things for hypoxia here. Oh, it's not even showing me all of them. I'm going to have to go to another site. Hypoxia symptoms. I hate this shit.
Yo, while she's doing that, I saw a lot of people in the chat that are saying they got the test and they got it shoved way up their nasal cavity. I'm telling you guys, I think if you really are forced to take the test, be an informed asshole like I was. I mean,
yeah.
Make them want to get rid of you because honestly, they weren't there to help me. That's the idea I got. He did everything he possibly could to do any test. Like they wouldn't have normally done all those tests. He knew it was from the mask. He couldn't admit it was from the mask. Oh, I didn't even tell you guys. This is the most important part of the story. So you know how I told you they hooked me up to that machine, right? And my oxygen went down to 82 like immediately, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the doctor says, he's like, oh, well, that's interesting. And I was like, what? And he's like, oh, well, and your oxygen went down to 82. And I was like, yeah, this is what I've been telling you, man. I'm like being deprived of oxygen. I can't circulate it or something, you know, something's going on. It's from the mask. And he was like, no, a mask wouldn't do that. He literally said, he goes, this is probably a faulty machine. And I was like, all right, bro. I was like, then grab another machine then. So the nurse grabs another machine and shit. And and I have this on video as well, because she grabs another machine and it was a completely different brand, different everything than the other one. So I asked her, I was like, hey, is this the same machine? Like, isn't this looks different? And she's like, oh yeah, it's just a different model from a different company. We just get them like when we get the best deals. And I was like, isn't that kind of like not what you're supposed to do in like medical profession or scientific profession, is use another like variable when you're testing a subject, you know? So like you can't keep switching between different machines, you know what I mean? So they do the test again and it goes exactly the same. It goes right down to like 80 immediately. And they then use the excuse, oh, well, this machine's old. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, then grab another machine then. So I'm gonna keep doing this until like, you know? So I literally got them to grab a third machine, bro. And it ended up being a different model, a different brand and everything, bro. The same fucking thing, but different brand and shit. And I was like, you guys really need to keep your machinery consistent, man. How are you even running an operation like this? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So they do the third machine, the exact same thing happened. And I was like, all right, bro, so what's wrong with me? And he literally goes, we don't know. I was
It's
like,
a fucking joke.
And then he was like, we're going to x-ray your lungs. We're going to give you a CT scan. Like, we're going to spend all this money because we don't want to tell you it's because of a mask.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what was the beginning symptoms for this whole COVID thing back in January and February? It was a cough, a dry cough, right?
Right.
Although the symptoms can vary from person to person, the most common hypoxia symptoms are changes in color of skin ranging from blue to cherry red, confusion, cough, fast heart rate, rapid breathing, shortness of breath, slow heart rate, sweating, and then death.
I only have one of those, which was confusion. I got massively confused, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. It sucks, man.
It's muffed up, man.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm gonna go back there, to be honest with you. Even if it comes back negative, I'm just gonna take the 2 weeks. I mean, they're not legally able to like ask for my paperwork that I'm positive or anything. I'm just gonna.
Right.
You're good to
I
go.
don't have to do this shit anyway. I'm just gonna tell them like that I am and whatever.
If you tell them you are, they'll be like, okay. If you tell them you're not, then they'll be like, well, we want to see your paperwork. You know what I mean? It's like, all you gotta do is say, oh, yeah, I do have it. And they're like, okay, no problem.
Yeah, I bet you they already writ you off. They're like, oh, he has it.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take the 2 weeks, which means, see, I'm supposed to go to a wedding on the 26th in Utah. It's gonna be awesome, but I'm gonna leave like a week early now. Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Look, if people will believe this crap, they will believe anything that comes down the pike. And that includes the people working in the medical field who supposedly think they're so fucking smart with their big fucking Latin medical words and all this stuff. And, do you ever talk to one of these people? Like when you try to talk to a doctor and he's like, Oh yeah, well, you try to tell him what you think's wrong with you, and he knows better than you and all this stuff. Or I've talked to different nurses and everything, and they use all these medical terms that they know you don't understand. But I've been in the medical field, so I understand a lot of them. But they do that on purpose to make themselves seem like they're smarter in some ways. Clearly, they're not. And if they are smart enough to know what the fuck's going on, and they're going along with this, well,
shame on them.
Shame.
Steve, did you get that thing I sent you?
I did. Let's
Somebody in chat said to Google "define mind," and then you would see the four images you would see are about AI.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I was reading that a second ago. Define mind. Says the element of a person that enables them to be aware of the world and their experience, to think and to feel. I don't know that word. I don't know how to say that. Of consciousness and thought.
Faculty.
No.
That's how you
I'm just so used to hearing Fauci or what the fuck ever. But
yeah, well, that's what they call teachers in school, the faculty or the faculty room and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny, because it has what you would, I guess you would think, divine mind would come up, but then it's just all these pictures of AI. It's just odd to me.
A person's intellect, in a verb, it means to be distressed, annoyed, or worried by.
Yeah, I don't mind the rain.
Regard as important, feel concerned about. Me too with the AI. Yeah. Me too. I'm a little sketched out. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little concerned.
Whoever said that, good catch.
Interesting stuff.
It's very interesting.
But let's switch a topic real quick.
Yeah,
what do you? Man, you sent me these the other day, and then we'll get right into the melted brick stuff, because that's 2 or 3 pictures away. But this is what, in Tibet? Here, let me show this.
Oh
picture.
no, this is in the Himalayas.
Yeah, in Tibet.
Yeah, it's in the Tibetan area, yes, but it's tucked back away in the Himalayas. Like, people didn't even know that this shit even existed.
That's crazy. Let me zoom in a little.
It's the town of Towers.
Town of Towers. That's so crazy. So what they look like close? Is this the same thing or?
Yes. Now I was surmising a while back that star forts go way down underground and that we're only seeing the tops of them. And then you look at these things. These are star-shaped towers. If that was, say, on a grander scale and it was mud flooded all the way up to the top, maybe only 10% sticking out, that would be like a star fort to us.
Absolutely. Look how little the people are.
The people in the village don't even know what built these things. They don't know what the fuck they're for. Somebody tested some of the wood, because there's wood inside some of these, and they say it comes from the 1600s or something, which would put it pre-mud flood.
Wow. So crazy. I just thought that blew my mind when you sent that the other day. But so let's move over here.
Is that the first picture?
I think so. Is it?
Okay. Before we get into those pictures, save those pictures. I want to go to the link that I sent you. That's above the pictures, so people have a good idea of what we're going to be getting into with these melted bricks and everything, and the warping of bricks, because it definitely plays into some. Yeah, that one there. I think this X Factor event, whatever took place, mud flood, whatever caused it, if there was some type of a war or something. Something happened to these buildings. Yeah, just scroll down. We'll go through the pictures that literally made the brick in these buildings, and not just this one, but all the ones we're going to take a look at, warped and melt and actually form other blocks. Because some of these bricks, when they melt together, they start to form one big block that we might even consider a megalithic stone of some sort. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Look at that. 1800 degrees.
Yep. So clearly this was way over that. And then the heat had to have been taken away quickly for it to melt and then stop with the melting, like in that picture there.
Celsius as well. Keep that in mind. It's all in Celsius, so it's getting really freaking.
These pictures are insane.
Yeah. Is there a video on here I'm looking for? Or?
No, but we're just scroll back up a little.
Oh, okay, I'll leave it here and we'll just go down with the arrow.
Yeah, let's go down past that one a little bit. And once we get past that one, there's
it looks like chocolate.
I know, dude, right? It's crazy. And here you can see how, like, some of the brick, you can still kind of see the squareness of it, but it's starting to melt down the sides of the wall and everything. Eventually, you would not even have known that this was a building. You would think you were in some sort of a cave or something.
Candyland.
Okay, so this one right here is a good picture because you can tell all the mortar's been cooked out of it. It's just completely obliterated and deformed from the heat. Now, you wouldn't know if you didn't know anything about what we're talking about. You wouldn't even know that was brick at one time.
Right. But you can clearly see, like, right here, brick together, you know?
Exactly. And this is what brick looks like when it gets hit with high heat. Now, for me, I think what's going on is that...
Looks like wood cracking. I'm sorry, but it looks like wood cracking.
Yeah. And whatever antiquitech was in these buildings, now say if everything was laid out like a grid on the flat plane, right? And the buildings themselves are built with the tech in the architecture. That maybe whatever happened, like say a Carrington event, which clearly was not a solar flare, maybe it was some other type of event where the grid fried. And then these buildings, wherever the antiquitech was located within the buildings, did the most damage to the brick. From the heating,
maybe frying it from getting like energized from the outside,
like a circuit board getting fried. Now look at this, guys. Look at that. I mean, wow.
Looks like it got beat.
Can you zoom in on that at all?
That's about it.
Yeah, it's just so crazy. Some major event took place in and around the time that we call the mud flood within the last 500 years for sure, whether it was some type of a war, some type of event that fried the whole grid. I don't know, but it's quite interesting. I never even, now this is what the brick would have normally have looked like. This part didn't get hit as hard as the part that's further off in the picture there. So yeah. Yeah, these
that's
pictures
crazy. Looks like a fucking dragon eyeball if you kind of just look at it.
Oh yeah, that's the first thing I saw, bro.
That's sketchy.
It reminded me of that movie Dragonheart or something. Remember that?
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe they got hit with a dragon or something.
So did they break that part off? It looks like they try to like out like this wall here.
Right.
Did it separate between the two? Because like, why is this one so hit and this one's like?
Right. Yeah. Looking? Like that wall, like they tried to brick up that part there that was real damaged or something, and maybe tried to keep this other part in use or stop the spread of the heating or something. But when you see some of these buildings, like even that church that you showed, maybe the one side of it's fine, no problem with the bricks, but you look at the front face of the building and they're all popping out and stuff like popcorn. So maybe the antiquitech was in and around that area. And when the grid fried, it like a lightning strike, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
It actually looked very controlled. Like,
yeah. That's why I think it was a war. There was some type of a war that took place. And they were using directed energy weapons.
To me, it seems like maybe they just went like room to room, just hitting it with some sort of, hot fucking wave or something. I don't know. Some shit that we don't have now, obviously.
Yep.
If that other room was perfectly fine and like a lot of the other places were, kind of looking like this, maybe they just, went room to room just scorching.
Dude, this room looks like a burnt marshmallow.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's like literally like it turns into a cave. A lot of these buildings are caves. Like the caves that we think are caves are actually really were buildings.
There's a tire in there.
Very observant, Bobby.
Right? You know how long it would take to make a fucking cave, bro?
That's what I'm saying. Like
about 20 minutes with this weapon.
Yeah, right.
True.
Holy shit.
They're all faces. They're all faces.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Everyone was a goddamn face, man.
But look over here, Jen. You can see how it's like this part peeled off the charred part, and there's still some brick under it.
Yep.
That's crazy. I wonder what it like really does to the molecular structure of the brick. Well, makes it drippy drip like that, maybe. That's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And wait till you see the pictures we're going to get into after this. They will even blow you away even further. I was just like
stalagmites.
I had no idea. Like I've seen a stone get hit with a laser in a controlled environment, and the stone bubbles up and expands, and then it like liquefies.
Wow.
And this shit is literally melted.
What is that?
It's melted brick.
That's crazy, bro.
I know.
What happened?
I need someone to explain.
That's not in my history book. We didn't do paragraph essays on shit like this back in the day, you know?
Exactly. Never heard of it in my life until I came upon all this stuff. I was never taught anything like this. And that the fact that it started to drip, and then clearly the heat was taken away and it cooled like this. Or else it would have reached all the way to the ground.
Shit, right. You're right. Holy shit.
And I have a picture of a building. One of the buildings we're going to look at, the top of the building melted down in through the building. And wait till you see what this fucking thing looks like. It's crazy.
Oh, shit.
That's why I thought it was like more of a weapon, because like it looks like whatever hit it was like really hot, and then it just gone.
Went
like,
away.
Yeah, right.
I like the epicenter was right here for whatever happened. It just expanded, it looked like. That's why I think there's a hole in all these fucking rooms, you know?
Well, we hear about the purification, the time of purification. The Hopis talk about that and everything. Purification, at least in the medical field, is where they put things under high heat to sterilize them.
Bro, that last picture looked like the entrance to the Batcave, dude. What happened?
I don't know.
Okay, this is an example here.
We go back a little bit. Let's go to the first one, because that's pretty much where we are.
All right, so here you can see the brick is in the process of starting to come apart, popcorn out, and melt. And you can also see in the center there where some of the bricks turn sideways, up and down, instead of being horizontal. And that's a trait that happens in a lot of these brick walls. When they start to melt, the bricks slide around, and they actually slide up and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Here's another example.
If you can zoom in on that, you can see how the brick, it not only expands, it pops out. It actually forms to the other bricks, and sometimes will form a complete slab or a, yes, to me that looks like a lightning strike. You see, some type of directed energy weapon that came down and hit it and went all the way through it.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Okay, this is a regular house. It's still in use, but you can clearly see it's been hit with heat damage. The brick is starting to popcorn out. It's starting to slide around. The bricks on the other side, the white part where the cursor is right there, that's actually brick that got hit more than the brick next to it, and they have already expanded out to be bigger.
On top of it looks like.
Yeah.
It was probably all like that till they fucking dug it out with some mining tools or something.
Here's another example of the brick being heated up. The lower portion of the wall being heated from the ground up. So the damage is more on the bottom than the top part, where the brick, you can still see the red brick and everything. But below that, it was the same as that red brick, but it got heated up.
Right. You can tell they're bigger bricks too.
Yeah. Well, they weren't bigger bricks, but they got to be bigger bricks because they got cooked. Yep.
Exactly.
And here you see the bricks sliding all around in the mortar. The mortar becomes viscous. The bricks start sliding around. The mortar melts quicker than the bricks. The bricks start sliding around, and then the bricks start popcorning out and molding and getting all deformed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A major event took place in the past, for sure. Oh, it gets better, guys.
It's just not thought about or talked about,
All right. So this is a I'm not sure if this is part of the Grand Canyon or not, but they were surmising that this is kind of like Sodom and Gomorrah. That's why I wanted you to bring that up. This is more melted brick buildings.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can clearly tell.
Mm-hmm.
You clearly see that like something happened here, and even in the background, like you know, perfect all the way around. Some sort of mining op. This probably is part of the canyon. Now that I think about it, you know. All right, we're going the wrong way. Here we go.
Okay, so here's more examples of brick that, expanded out. It doesn't even look like brick anymore, but you can still see that there's brick in there, the regular brick, but all the others, they're just not stones. This is brick that deformed and expanded out and even started to, meet up with the other brick next to it and form one long piece and stuff. So this has all been hit with heat.
I was going to say, like, where the architect back in the day, just take a bunch of random stones, throw them together, and there's your wall.
Oh, shit. We ran out of brick.
That's what it looks like.
Hand me those rocks.
Right.
That'll work.
I'm sure people tried to get deals back then, too, so they probably went to, like, the cheaper dude down the street, and that's how we made it. You get what you pay for,
I got those yellow bricks, bro.
More example of heat. Well, the color actually gets cooked out of the brick once it gets cooked to a certain point. And then after that, it just turns into like granules, like dust.
Dust. Yeah, this stuff got
All right, this right here is a melted building. Okay, the interior of this building got melted, and it's melting down to the point where it will actually consume the whole innard of the building, and it'll just be like just one big rock. So I found this to be very interesting, this picture. Yeah.
Looks like a shark's mouth.
A little bit it did. What is this? This someone's like...
This is a building... This is left over from whatever took place. It probably was straight at one time, some type of building, and it started to melt and collapse in on itself. That's why it's curved looking. It's hard to say for sure, but it definitely has structure to it. If you zoom in, you can see some of the brick texture on the right-hand side.
What the fuck is that? Like, what am I looking at right now, bro? For real. Yeah. What is that supposed to be? It looks like a fucking giant spaceship crash.
If you flatten it out to be straight, and it probably had the rest of a building to it and everything, and what you're seeing at the bottom there, all that loose rock and stuff, was the rest of the building.
It looks like Independence Day 3.
Yeah, it looks like the perspective we're getting is so crazy. I bet you if they turned like 15 degrees to the right, it would look so different. But it looks like some huge planet that was just left over. Like, oh, this is Venus.
Right, exactly. What the fuck?
That's cool looking though.
That's wild.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, wait, there's more.
But wait.
Okay. Now check this out, guys. We were just looking at domes and the towers and stuff. This is a building. This is a building that had a dome on top of it. So you're seeing the whole building melted down. You can see the outer ring is red. That's where the red brick is. And the inner part with the perfect circle would be the top of the dome.
No way, dude.
Yes way.
It looks like an eyeball. It looks like an eyeball.
It just got flattened like a pancake.
Exactly. It pancaked in on itself, Steve. And if you scroll in at all where the red parts are, you can see even still a little bit of brick formation.
Oh my God.
It's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah,
a whole building with a dome on top melted itself straight down to the ground level, and that's the top of the dome. Right? Look at that perfect circle in the center. If you pull that all up, I can totally imagine that being a dome.
Where is that?
I don't know. I can't tell you that. I'd have to kill you.
Somebody's field in Kansas.
This is all melted buildings here, guys. This was like a whole,
look at that little bridge. What the hell? Yeah.
This is all melted shit.
What the fuck? Where are you trying to get to on that little bridge? Like, why is that little bridge so important?
Where are you going? Nowhere. That's where.
This is one of those pictures where it's like, what came first? These buildings or the bridge?
Right?
they definitely built the buildings around the bridge for sure.
For sure.
Check this out.
What is that?
This is a giant melted building.
It looks like a whale that has a cut in the side of it.
All right, zoom in on that part that's still tan colored. Can you zoom in on that part right there? You can see the dripping that came down over it, but yet still, that would be the original building under it. That part didn't melt like the rest did. But you can see how it melted down over it. It's starting to come into it and stuff, the drips.
That's insane.
Excuse me.
That's crazy. Where the hell? You don't know where this one is either?
I think this one's in Australia.
I can see that. That's crazy. Oh, see, it looks like wood again, like I was saying.
Yeah. But actually, that's brick.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can even see it on the outer side. It was actually a whole column. If you look back, you could see the rest of the column all knocked down and vitrified and stuff.
Jesus. What the hell happened?
Yeah, something major happened, though, and there could possibly be all buildings there behind it that's all melted. Here's more melted buildings.
So I mean, this would be a worldwide thing, though. So
exactly,
I mean, what the fuck did happen? Did we have like a mass wipeout, like a mass reset, like we're probably gonna have soon? You know?
Absolutely. Whatever the mud flood was, it's not exactly what we're surmising it was. Yeah, it looks like mud came in and took over a lot of the area, and that was probably a part of it. But there was definitely, it seems like there was some type of a war situation that took place.
Right. I agree with you on the energy weapon. That's exactly what it looked like. Some sort of thing melted that shit. Absolutely.
Yeah, this right here, these blocks were all bricks at one time. And you can see in the lower portion of the picture, you can see some of the brick, but the upper part where they're larger blocks are the bricks that turned into blocks. You see what I'm saying? This is what happens to brick when it gets cooked. It turns into these blocks, these big blocks.
Really?
They expand, yeah.
You think that's how the pyramids were created? They were built with little bricks.
Look, if you look in the back of the dollar bill, you see the pyramid, right? And it always looks like it was made out of bricks. So if the pyramids were hit with something and the bricks expanded, well, then you got big blocks, don't you?
Maybe it was like a tiny pyramid before.
I don't know. But this is interesting, and it reminds me of Petra. But yeah, this is more of these melted buildings. You see where it came down off the top in between these two doorways, how it's melting down.
Right. And if you ask any like historian or whatever, just be like, hey, what was the archaeological purpose of making this building? How did they make this? Why did they have to make the door fucking 15 feet smaller than it actually is?
Who's getting up there, bro? Do you see how big that leap is?
I mean, I could see it being a great defense, though.
So basically, this was one whole building, and it got hit. It started to melt, and parts of it survived there.
Look at that!
Yeah,
3 of them bitches. Wow.
People didn't climb up here and carve this shit out of the rock.
Look at the people down there. You're gonna tell me one of these dudes climbed up here?
Someone stood a couple hundred yards back, just went like Kamehameha, and then like some fire came out of their third eye, and there's your new fucking.
Tell me one of these small midgets climbed up here on a Thursday and was just like whistling, going back to work, just chiseling it away. Stop.
What'd you do today, Joe? I just created a new temple on top of a fucking mountain on the side.
I don't think it was a Thursday though.
Yeah, it might have been Friday.
This is more of a Wednesday kind of thing.
This is a Wednesday thing for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, here's more examples, and this reminded me of Hawaii. Remember we were looking at Hawaii and those mountains? This reminded me of that. I don't know where this picture's taken from, but this is all melted brick. This was a building.
A lot of mountains we've been speculating are actually just melted buildings. A lot of them.
Interesting.
Or like even just fortresses, maybe like a whole cave system that had a bunch of little outlets like this, sort of like a giant beehive. You know what I'm saying? And they just used the mountain and hollowed it out, and then it got fucking blown the fuck up or something like this. But you gotta wonder what really happened here.
Okay, this would have been your average brick wall, but you can see it got heated up. It's already starting to expand. and some of them are getting pushed out, like bubbling out and stuff like popcorn. It's all wavy and stuff.
Old as hell.
Burnt to the far right.
Oh, sorry. What's up? Far right?
Yeah, it's like it
Dark.
just looks like charcoal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Absolutely.
these ancient sites aren't as ancient as they tell us they are, guys.
No.
And this is one of the ancient sites in Egypt, and this is all like popcorn blocks. So most of this stuff was all brick, and it just turned to big blocks and popcorn blocks.
You got to think of it, God said he never flood the world again, so the mud flood could just be a quick little scorching event.
Yeah.
For like
It
half
even
an
looks
hour.
like up there, it looks just before, when you look at the top of the picture and move down just a little, it looks like something melted down right there.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Petrified.
Okay, so here's a good example of a brick building that got scorched. The brick expanded. It kept
Right into the mud, too.
But that part down there that you think is mud is actually the brick that was on the bottom that just got dustified.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
All right.
All right. Here's
the landing strip where the helicopter lands.
This is some weird ancient structure that nobody knows what it is. But clearly it's a melted building.
I mean, there's steps right there.
They're kind of big.
They're kind of big. They're kind of melted and crooked. So they built steps to lead to this part here just to stand there? Like, yep.
I don't know. I don't know if the building melted from the bottom.
Windows.
See, a lot of people are speculating that the melting took place at ground level, not always at the top. So a lot of these buildings have the damage at the bottom where the top part's still intact like that. Those steps might have really have been there, but the whole bottom part, as you can see, even these square blocks off in the distance here in the front of the picture were originally bricks. But look, they're big blocks now.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, like I think this was like a big building because like, you can see like the part there. It looks like someone made that so you can like sit down. It looks like a house, old house that just got melted.
Yep.
Yeah, and then like you're saying, if everything got melted from the ground up, it really where is it?
When you have
it makes me think of like how tall is like is this just like the roof of something here? If it'll load, probably not, but all right, guess we'll go back to here. But I was gonna show the Masonic Temple again that we were looking at before and how giant that thing was. And if that's just the roof to a building, what's really happening,
And look, we just looked at that thing that was a melted building with a dome, the perfect circle in the middle. You know how these domes are shaped? If you take that picture of that dome, that flattened out dome, and pulled it back up into a building shape, it would have been a perfect dome with probably another little dome on top and a spire.
Yeah, most likely.
All this was brick. We like to think that the ancient people lugged around big, huge boulders and built walls and stuff. No, they made everything out of brick. It was all Tartarian, and there was an event that took place, and the brick expanded, and this is what we got.
Mind-blowing stuff. There you go.
Their mountain. Okay, this is what I'm talking about with Hawaii. These mountains are not mountains. They were actually buildings. This building kept most of its structure, but a lot of it did melt away. And
here you can see the entire mountain ridge is one level here, and that's probably like, another one of these over there. Miles in the distance. So interesting. So this kind of looks like another example of that. And you can tell, look at here even at the what do you call it, the sidewalk, it's all completely brick, and it's all interestingly dark brick as well.
Yes. So there you go. Okay, when you have a circuit board and your circuit board fries, it fries from the base of the circuit board up, everything melts. And this is what happened here. You can see that the brick expanded, it turned into bigger blocks, and then the heat rose up, but it didn't get as intense as it goes up because the melting didn't affect it up more than it did down the bottom, I guess I'm trying to say.
You're good.
Another view of a wall of bricks that got melted. You can see the damage isn't as severe going up the building, but on the lower half, it's charred. It's melted.
Is another smoking? Who's smoking?
That'd be me.
Hooray!
Mm.
Hey, did you guys see what my doll face just put in the chat?
Yeah, this is it's just the next part now, where
Yeah,
all the cops
dude.
are walking out.
I mean,
This
they're trying to get cops to walk out on purpose, you know.
yeah, for sure. That's being all done by design because they want to bring in the military.
Exactly.
They're saying that this was a building. It's been completely dustified and melted away.
In the
You can
middle
actually
of a
see
grassy
this.
land.
Like I can recreate this building in my mind. I can see
Exactly,
what
dude.
this was.
Yeah, like that was a dome. Like the whole thing probably was way up higher. This is just nothing. This building was probably huge.
That's so crazy, dude. Like, what do you think happened? It's like a wall of fire came through and just fucked it all up.
I don't know. I think the grid fried. I think somehow somebody got to the inner workings of the grid system, the free energy system, and sabotaged it. Maybe.
Wow, that's crazy stuff.
Now, this one's my favorite. I mean, look at this shit, guys. This whole thing was hit with heat. The bricks are just popcorning out everywhere, sliding all around all over the place. It's amazing.
Wow, that's so crazy. Look at this. Let's just build the old brick sideways. You know.
How are these buildings still standing? It's so weird.
Well, they made their shit so well, these Tartarians, and then a lot of them survived, a lot of them didn't. A lot of the things that are around us that we think are natural formations to our flat plane are actually melted buildings. It's pretty amazing. But this didn't get quite as much heat as the other ones.
I was gonna say, it seems like they got hit with some sort of heat, but then it must have been like a rapid cool back down to baseline temperature. That must have been what happened, you know?
That's exactly right. It
really destructive sound, you know? Because these buildings would have just came to the ground, would have been a whole pile of just red goop, you know?
When you look at Machu Picchu and all those places like that where they say you can't even stick a piece of paper between the rocks, like they've been melted. That's exactly what happened. This here, the melting's starting. The mortar is starting to melt away first. You can start to see it kind of oozing out between the bricks. Then the bricks get slippery and start moving around and go vertical and stuff.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Well, there's your after. It's like your before, during, and after, you know? Just beat. Look at that, completely just like charred down here. This is what the bottom of a really bad grill looks like.
So as you get higher, the brick isn't damaged. Whatever took place at ground level, just like on a circuit board.
It was about to just blow here. It was about to turn to this shit, and then he was like, "Nah, let's turn this device off or whatever." That's crazy, dude. Look at the archways down there, made for clearly bigger people than us, but I digress.
Another building, a house that's still in use with all the popcorn bricks starting to pop out. The structure is still sound and everything, but clearly maybe whatever bricks were in there that weren't made as well as the other bricks in the wall started to popcorn out first with the heat.
That's what it looks like. There's a prime example.
There's a brick all muffed up by heat.
Wow. That's incredible.
Absolutely.
I want someone to tell me
right.
that the sun, it got so hot on Earth that the bricks are popping out like this.
Right.
Well, this is what we're going to be talking about tomorrow on my show. We're going to have the Jerry from When the Buildings Cried channel. He used to be Subphotonic. Oh, go back to that other picture. Again, you can see here clearly the heat came up from the bottom. All that big blocks were just like the bricks above them, but they got heated, and they got to heat it from the ground level up, and then that's where it stopped. More bricks melted, more supposedly ancient structures.
Ancient. Got a hard time.
I mean, look at this wall. I mean, come on. Who would put together a wall like that? Was it a blind person? I don't know. It's just like
Helen Keller putting a wall together.
Me high as shit.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Fucking
We'll
Picasso
put all the
over here.
color ones over here, man.
Oh yeah. Well, when we did the show tomorrow with Jerry, these are all from his video. I screenshotted all these from a video I was watching of his the other day, and he breaks all this stuff down in more of a better way for people to understand. Here's a whole building still in use, clearly, bricks all muffed up.
Muffed up.
So Jen, could it be an alien attack?
An angel attack, maybe, but not an alien attack.
Well, I mean, just because we don't believe in, I mean, I'm not gonna totally say I don't believe in space. It's not what it is, but you don't have to. Even without space, there could be aliens from like different dimensions and underground.
Well, I mean, who knows what's on the other side of the dome? And clearly, we've talked about possible entrance ways and exit ways out of our dome into other areas. If they're on the outside and they know how to get in, then sure that they could come in here with their, flying saucers and their directed energy beams and stuff and do something like this. I don't know what happened, but something happened. It's so obvious. It's so in our faces once you know what to look for. And then when you really start getting into the mountains and the structures that, the geological features that we think are just mountains and hills and stuff turn out to actually be. That's what I was telling you, Steve, when we did that flyover of Hawaii. And I'm looking at that fucking mountain and I'm like, I see buildings in there.
Oh, yeah. I didn't say you were wrong. I was a little skeptical when you first showed it to me. And then you kind of pointed a couple things out, and we saw a couple more, quote unquote mountains that were, pretty much the same. Had a bunch of windows everywhere. I'm like, well, why would you need windows on a mountain for?
So you can get
caves.
Dude, that's how you get more for the property. You have to have windows to call it a bedroom. You gotta know. Right. I got a 5-bedroom mountain, man.
If we can like the whole reason
500 bedroom.
Like I was always thinking
small mountain. Mine's small mountain.
As a kid, I was like, oh, like UFOs, that'd be so cool, aliens. But then after a while, I'm always like, well, how come these fucking things don't land? Like if you're from a different quote planet,
would you want to land here? Look how fucked up.
Yeah, but I mean, I would want to get out and be like, what's going on? What's happening? That's why I as I got older, I'm like, what if they're just humans just flying around just to keep the buzz going of aliens, to keep the space thing alive?
That's definitely a possibility. Absolutely, 100%.
I know that the UFO people see the TR3B, the triangle with the 3 lights, anti-gravity. That's definitely humans. That's humans. Hitler was using that.
We know the lengths they'll go to lie to us, so it wouldn't. I wouldn't put it past them to completely make up aliens just so they can keep their globe lie intact.
For sure, because if there's aliens, that means that there's quote space, and then that means God is real.
What Ancient Aliens is all about. That's why that thing's on the 16th fucking season and stuff.
Oh,
they'll never cancel that shit.
Yeah, but that guy's hair is phenomenal.
Absolutely. I mean, I think everybody in here probably was pretty obsessed with looking at alien shit. I know for me, my favorite subjects before I found out about Flat Earth and Mandela Effect were, my favorite one was Nibiru, Planet X, and the Anunnaki and the Sumerians, all that shit. I loved all that shit, and then Flat Earth came along and just completely destroyed all of that,
So the Anunnaki were actually the fallen angels, and they're the ones that came down and showed the Sumerians how to write and all this other stuff, plant stuff and everything. And so anytime we hear stories Ancient Aliens is famous for that, was it the gods? Was it, beings from another world?
They're the same people with different names, different faces, and different cultures. It doesn't matter where you go. Everyone has these beings that came from the sky that taught them how to do things, but they're different names, whether you want to go back to Egypt or Zeus or Odin or Thor, whoever you want to talk about. They're the same people, just different cultures.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely
ridiculous.
Yeah, someone just said, how did we get here? Just said something really interesting in the chat. He said, aliens are here blending in with us, I think, already. And what's interesting about that is I always had a theory, 7, 8 years ago and shit, when I was researching this, that it made a lot of sense to me that, let's say let's just say aliens are abducting people. Let's say that's real, you know?
Sure.
So if an alien abducts like Jen, let's say, if an alien abducts Jen, and then like, you know, they cross her DNA with an alien, that alien baby would be half and half, right? And then if you do that again, like take that half and half, you know, DNA and mix it, and then you got like, you know, a third, blah, blah, blah. And you keep doing that and you keep doing that and you keep doing that. You'll end up with like a 1/20th or 1/100th alien and 99% human, but it would also have all the alien like indoctrination and missions and stuff. So I always had this theory that, you know, after so many like hundreds or thousands of years, they would have things that looked exactly like human beings, but had the alien agenda and alien DNA as well.
If you took the word alien,
politicians.
If you took the word alien
exactly.
and switched it with demon, it's the same thing, because they talk about that fallen angels would have come down and mate with humans, which was you know.
And when I say alien, I am just saying it just...
No, you can say alien all you want. We're just like spitting ideas, but like that's how like they could, because like if they can keep us believing aliens are real, then they can keep up the space and globe lie going, because people go, well, aliens are real, because that's why they're coming out now saying, oh, these are UFOs. Yeah, that just means you can't identify them. Anything you see that's in the sky you can't identify is technically a UFO.
Right, exactly.
So what does that mean? You know what I mean? So they got to keep it going. They got to keep it going. Like aliens abduct people, they say, but yet all they do is stick their finger up your ass, and no one remembers what happened. Like, come on, dude. I would want you to remember if I took you up on my ship and flew you to space. Like, look, here's Saturn. Here's this. Go back and tell everybody.
I mean, if I had a UFO, that's probably what I would do too. So I can't really blame them.
I would leave.
If I had a UFO and I had that ability to like abduct people, I would abduct all like the Hillary Clintons and, you know, like Nancy Pelosi's and stuff.
Make sure they never
strip them down naked, or even just let them just have clothes on, take their shoes off and dump them out in like the frozen tundra and just leave them there.
I would not want to see Nancy Pelosi naked or Hillary.
What if it's the guy in the
Nancy Pelosi when she kneeled down, she couldn't get back up? Somebody had
the best part about that, the garb, the African garb they were wearing, the tribe that represents, it was all about slavery, and they sold slaves off to people.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm like, dude, like
absolutely.
That's how you know that they don't care. They're just like laughing in your face. Like, here we are, we're a tribe that sold Africans into slavery.
I don't get any of that shit, man. That was the craziest shit. I can't even say that's crazy anymore, because that's not even the craziest thing that like happened that day. You know? It's
ridiculous, dude. Nowadays, it's ridiculous. But you guys want to take like a 3-minute break, real quick?
Yeah, I want to go smoke.
I'm down.
All right, sounds good. We'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. There's some more good things on the way. Maybe. There we go.
Lives in the unseen zones, not seen in between those without flesh or bone. Roam in the void, they avoid all detection. Interdimensional beings all connected. Angels and demons from spiritual realms, engaged in a battle from heaven to hell. They dwell all around us and even inside some of those that invite what they call spirit guides. Enticed by Ouija boards, they seek guidance and think there's a secret to be enlightened. Little do they know what they just invited. A demonic presence has just resided in the days of Noah. All kinds of hybrids infiltrated the earth, but most were silenced, wiped out by the flood. All these tyrants, bloodlines polluted by these ancient giants. Some men of renown, heroes of old, have now returned. Let the truth be told. They wear no disguises, Thoth and Isis are now aliens come to invite us and guide us. The fruit is ripened, it's so inviting. Evolve to a God enlightened, and don't be frightened. But I must ask why their ideas seem aligned with Lucifer's lie. This song serves as a warning to anyone searching. Demonic minions are lurking and virtually everywhere, posing as anything, stalking and prey with original sin. This song serves as a warning to anyone searching. Demonic minions are lurking and virtually everywhere, posing as anything, stalking and prey with original sin. It's a coincidence that all these incidents represent all the same thing the serpent said. Look at Genesis chapter 3 verse 6. It depicts exactly the same conflict. Feel this trick inflicted by the sick and wicked, invented, presented like a light transcendent, but it's dark demented. It just pretended, depending on beliefs, what you just expected. See how a rose has thorns and thistles? They hide among the truth to avoid the signal. They muddy the water with disinformation, persuading so many without a foundation. Some people like to listen to Ike and Sitchin, Jordan, Maxwell, and Tessarian. It seems these people are on the same mission. Deny what's Christian, seek secret wisdom. Tied to the lies in the movie zeitgeist. Lost, they deny the existence of Christ. I defy you to find any truth to the logic. Go ahead, just rewind it and pause it. Study their sources, they're all Masonic. Elite Illuminati seem to be behind it. They know the public will buy any fraud that tries to deny the existence of God. This song serves as a warning to anyone searching. Demonic minions are lurking and virtually everywhere, posing as anything, stalking and prey with original sin. This song serves as a warning to anyone searching. Demonic minions are lurking and virtually everywhere, posing as anything, stalking and prey with original sin.
Eckhart, you talk about an.
All right, we are back.
Are we?
Maybe. I'm back from the future.
Me too, bro. Let me tell you what happens.
What was that?
Their ass whooped by Jesus.
Pretty much, dude.
You know
Pretty much. And yet here we are. But something I wanted to show, not even show, we could just, kind of just commentate while we go, while we go through this real quick. It's 25 most amazing ancient ruins in the world.
Ancient.
Yeah, right. So ruins of some
25
sort.
of the most melted ruins in history.
If you never saw this before, and I was like, this is 100 years old, and I was like, oh, this is ancient, you'd be like, whoa.
I've never even seen this. I've never even seen this, and I look at all kinds of archaeology. I've never seen this place.
Me neither. I clicked on this a little while ago, and I was like, what the hell is this?
Hey, Steve, how you pronounce that, bro?
I don't know.
Bro, I can't figure it
out. It's the Utes.
Hey, Euthia. Not quite sure where it is. Maybe it'll pop up on the screen. I kind of just skimmed through the video, but just look at this place, man.
Wow. Is that brick? Hold up. That's brick right there. Did you see that? Yeah, that's all brick.
Wonder where that came from.
Ancient slabs, Jen.
Dude, somebody said that there for the protesters. Oh, look at this shit. Wow.
Burnt.
It does look burnt.
Down.
And if you look down below that charred part, it looks like brick.
Yep.
So it's definitely brick.
Look at that elephant. There you go. So it must be somewhere in like India or something.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
There's brick right behind them chicks.
I think they're gender neutral.
Oh, is that what they are?
Yeah.
Were their ears really that long?
I hope so. Whoa.
Whoa.
I'm saying it's kind of sketchy. Look at that. 100 stairs to get up. 24. Stonehenge. Yeah.
Oh, this fucking joke.
This is an amazing ruin.
Yeah, some amazing ruin with metal shoved up in between the fucking in the stone.
We'll just skip that. Here we go.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, this is the Pueblos.
Wow.
They built this kind of stuff. And see the melting? Look, if you go back a little bit, if you go just a little bit, you can see that rock curtain right there above it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all melted. You can even see the black striations coming down and stuff. That was exposed to heat.
Oh, yeah.
I love when Jen busts out these big ass words. I was like, what? Even that right there, like some of those bricks, like
yeah, that's all.
Look at the whole top layer.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. You're getting it now. Yep. Look at the little brick in between the big boulder things. Right there. It's popcorned out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, Steve, imagine this type of building. Remember, we were looking last week on our show of those people that went in and said that it was a shelter, and we were seeing all the brick walls everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine this inside a mountain, and they dug their way in, and they were just coming across these brick walls everywhere. This is kind of like the same concept, except this didn't get consumed the way the other one did.
All right. You're 100% right there.
Yeah.
I think you're on that. Right on the money.
Oh, it's just a shelter. Nothing to see here.
Right. Everything's gone, and it melts into the quote-unquote mountain or whatever.
Yeah, how tall? Like that tower right there? How far did that actually go?
I'm not even sure.
What the hell's that guy working on? A ladder?
Wow. See, yeah, all that ridge line there, that could have all been buildings. That's all melted down stuff.
Absolutely. Let's get this ad out of the way.
Look at that thing. That's all melted, whatever the hell that was.
Bless you.
Oh, thank you. Getting that Rona over here.
Hey. Put your mask on. Mask up.
There's more bricks. Yep. Wow, look at that thing.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Little monkeys.
They're like, look at these stupid ass humans, bro.
Look at that.
So this was most likely a building at one time. It got melted from, it looks like it started melting from the top down. But this is that building, isn't it, that has the dragon feet in the front of it? Remember we were looking at that ancient structure? It had those talons or something on the way up.
Possibly. I'm not sure.
Now, from like the glance, it just looks like some stupid rounded off like mountain over there, and yet it makes a list of ancient ruins. So that's how you know they're telling you something that you don't know.
Exactly.
Because what is this a ruin of? If you're just a regular human,
building,
it looks like a mountain.
Right, and they got to put fucking stairs on the side of it, man-made, to go see what it really is.
Yo, whoa, hey.
Oh.
So they.
Hey.
I've never seen that before, but they think that people climbed up this rock and made some kind of structures on the top of the rock. Like everybody's like, well, how the hell did they get up there? No, it was a building at one time. And this is all brick. Look at all this brick.
They can't even get up there today regularly. They need all those fucking man-made stairs and ladders and shit.
Yes, this is on top of the building. This is what the top of the building looked like. So the whole building clearly was brick, and it all melted.
Those people are drinking from what people probably giants
That's
probably
a whole
bathed in.
melted building right there. Stop it right there, Steve. That is a whole fucking top of a melted building right there.
You can see the base of something right there.
Yeah, look at that circular base right there. Clearly that melted too. That whole build, that was a huge building at one time.
Absolutely incredible.
I know it. I know it, dude.
To the left of that circular base down there, it looks like etches in like the wall, like maybe like some kind of like design or something. Or maybe connect it over, maybe just like an observatorium kind of thing.
See those lower blocks down there, even below the circular structure? That's all pancake. I mean, all expanded brick.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow, look at that. That was probably one huge building. That is unbelievable.
All right.
All right.
There's more buildings.
That's crazy. Just evidence of that scorching thing everywhere. And wow, look at like I'm not even sure where this is, but like, look at like, wow.
Yeah, so a lot of the mountains that we think and ridge lines are just natural formations are actually giant melted buildings. There was a huge civilization here that at one point, a lot of their stuff still left over, but a lot of it got fucked up.
And then people built like little, even towns. Like people think the little towns on top of it are the ancient ruins, but they're walking on top of a whole building that got melted down.
Exactly.
Look at that son of a gun. Wow.
Wow, look at that doorway.
Yeah, let me bring that back. Wow.
Yeah.
Person is up to here. Look at that door. Wonder who that's for.
Me.
Ha.
But they took some serious time crafting, bro.
Wow, it's so intense, dude. Look at that.
Wow. Yeah, see all these big boulders and stuff. Well, that's amazing. I remember that is really amazing, that picture.
Hell yeah, look at that thing.
This looks like it was built yesterday. This was an ancient ruin. Look how
modern it looks.
What is that? What is that? What the fuck is that?
That's an ancient ruin.
No, it's not. That's like a brand new building.
Nah, bro.
Right. Yeah, that's like the hotel fucking spa or something.
Yeah, people went there for vacation, dude.
Oh my god. Yeah, it looks like a giant like spa.
Whoa, what is that thing?
I don't know. Look at all this stuff.
Look, it's burnt up there on top, all over the sides.
You
Look at
got
these monkeys.
again? I don't know. They out here.
Oh, yeah,
Look at the perfect carvings on all the stone. On the stone, you know?
Yeah, the one with Shiva.
A couple of these are.
Mm.
Probably why I got fucking blown out of the water.
She's been Mandela affected too.
Yeah, so if you look at the base of that building right there where you just were, if you can go back a tiny bit, right there, that on the left-hand side, the pillar down the bottom, you can see the facing is coming off. It's all plaster. A lot of these carvings and things that you see that you think are made out of solid stone are actually facades. That includes Egypt.
Oh yeah, well, Steve, was that you that posted on Facebook that Egyptian-looking thing in the middle of China?
Yes.
Come on, dude.
How crazy is that?
Oh,
There's Egyptian hieroglyphs all up on what's that shit? Oh, there's an image for you.
Bro, we're
all
getting
up on the Grand Canyon. There's Egyptian hieroglyphs there.
Really?
Yeah.
They named
That's
some of their
crazy.
stuff Egyptian names there. It's just an old neighborhood.
Got blown to shit. Look at that.
If you look
Look at that
closely,
archway.
if you look closely, that's all brick. That's all red brick. This whole place was just like melted, cooked.
Yeah, something happened here big time. Wow.
Who was that brick for?
That art
No,
right
it's
there,
for fucking Paul Bunyan or some shit.
some Paul Bunyan looking motherfucker.
85. Ridiculous.
Now, see, look, these ancient people.
Look at that. It's a horseman.
These ancient people knew how to build roads. Okay. But when you look at San Francisco and everywhere else, everything's mud roads.
Right.
Why would they make a statue of a horseman?
Hey, he's man where it counts and he's horse where it counts. You know what I'm saying?
He's hung like a horse.
Hey.
Oh.
Hung like a man horse.
Relax, Jim.
Oh, there we go.
Clean over here.
Bro, you're telling bro.
That place got charred.
Look, it's brick.
See the brick. Stop. Yes. See all the brick everywhere? This is all Tartarian architecture. Everything over it is a facade. And clearly a lot of damage happened here. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable what's actually brick. I didn't even realize half of this stuff.
Is this ancient or that Masonic temple?
Yeah, this is ancient.
For real. So crazy. Look at that. Let's go to the flowers. Oh, looks like someone got fucked. Look at that thing.
Ooh, yeah, he got melted.
There's
another
more
one.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
And there's us
And it
like,
looks-
ooh.
It looks like he died saying, "I'm melting" as well.
Go back a tiny bit, Steve, to where that right there. Stop. Do you see these columns?
Brick.
They're made of brick. They had a facade over them that made it look like the columns in the background. When the columns in the background, if they would have got cooked like these ones would have, all that facade would have melted away. You would have seen the brick.
That's so crazy.
I know, dude.
This shit was yesterday, cuz.
Where did all this brick come from? Who was making all this brick?
BLM.
BLM, C19.
Look at all these brick. Look.
Yeah, it's brick heaven over here.
Yo, I wouldn't be surprised if they found hieroglyphics that said BLM.
But see, they knew how to make roads. This is what I'm saying, is that when you look at modern stuff, like, oh, San Francisco was established 1850 or whatever, and you start looking at it up through 1910 and stuff, it's mud roads, okay? Yet they had these elaborate, beautiful buildings. They couldn't figure out roads.
They can make marble horsemen, but a fucking road.
Yeah, no. Nobody said, oh, let's take some of this marble and put it down on the ground.
Wow.
All cooked brick, all this stuff.
Yeah, look at that.
Yep.
That's all cooked.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Beat.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous.
That was all brick.
Yep. Just charred.
Exactly.
Wow.
Look, here's the popcorn going on. Whoa, what's this?
I don't know, bro.
Some of this B-roll's got to go, bro. Like, who's out in the fucking woods? Like, I got some B-roll for you.
It looks like there's stone under there, though.
Something.
Look at those rocks right there. See, it's when they just before they panned away from that, you could see the how the rock became viscous. Even back just a little bit further, you can see all the bubble marks and stuff right there in the stone, right there in the front. Yeah, that's all from heat damage.
Is this where they shot the moon landing?
Possibly. Let's get off the public beach. Here we go.
Were there palm trees on the moon?
Man, who knows? Yeah. They play golf.
There's palm trees in England now.
What?
Ain't that
I know that fact. They've always been there.
Really?
Girl, you better knock it off.
All right, so here on either side of the screen, you can see brick everywhere, and that whole structure there that we think is carved stone is actually just a facade. Even you can see it up.
You can see the red brick through the doorway.
Exactly, dude.
That's so nuts.
No, dude.
Literally just nuts. Like lost for words looking at this shit half the time.
And it's right here for all us to see, and we're all just like, oh, ancient stones.
Mm-hmm.
Right, 15 million years ago.
Jesus.
Look at that. It's probably a good person. Probably not. Looks like Apollo, but
whoa.
an asshole.
I mean, that's who the Statue of Liberty is.
Yeah.
Statue of Liberty is Apollo.
Absolutely.
People have no idea.
Look at that.
That place got fucking turned
look how
up.
big those things are. Like the seats. Who's sitting down there?
I don't know. This is probably where the Giants sat and watched us fucking fight for our lives.
Right?
Because, I mean, these little stones seem to be rather proportionate to human life.
Right. So you see the stones in the background there? Behind those little pillars, you saw long black stones going across. They were all brick that got cooked together and formed one long stone instead of it being separate bricks. You see what I'm saying? So you can tell that whole lower half there got hit really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I really do think this is maybe some sort of entertainment chamber for like the giants or enlightened beings, because the steps that go down here are human steps. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the humans would go down here and probably brawl or spar with each other till the death. And, that's enough entertainment for the deities. They taught us how to kill each other. So they're probably like, wow, look at these dumb some bitches,
Yeah.
Might as well put them through it. Just think about human free will and consent, we ask for half this shit half the time,
Wow, that is a huge amphitheater.
Yeah.
Hold on. Look at the archway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Interesting stuff. It's just like, we got trees growing out of this shit now. No big deal. Wow.
That's
You know how, like, when
too.
you
Why did they always make angel stuff back then?
Because
You know
they
what I
probably
mean?
wasn't the good ones. I'm just saying.
People create what they see, art wise. I mean,
Look
Yeah.
at this.
So this,
El Aurora Caves. Oh, they're
yes,
James. Look at that,
these
bro.
are really interesting. But these are melted buildings. They're not caves, and they did not carve it out of one giant rock like they say that they did. And most likely,
Yeah.
under all this facade is brick.
Elephant Man got beat, bro.
Wait a minute.
bro.
Is that what
Look
they're
at
saying, Jim? Is that what they're
Yeah.
saying? That
Yes.
they built that out of one giant rock, they carved that.
Yes, they carved this whole thing out of one giant rock.
bro, they still be sitting there carving.
That cannot be the real story that they're going with.
Yeah.
Look at this shit.
How could they have done that? Oh, it took, you could tell right there that shit's melted.
Mm-hmm.
What the
Look at the giant being with two little human-sized fucking things next to him. You can clearly tell that's a bigger thing. Can I zoom in? I can't, but that's ridiculous.
Also, when you look at Machu Picchu and Teotihuacan and these types of places where they have those big boulder walls and stuff, and the boulders look like they've been pressed on or like they were liquid at one time and maybe molded into place, we were hypothesizing. No, they were just melted and expanded.
Yeah. Jesus, look at this, dude.
Yeah.
Wow, there's your boy.
Look at that scorched rock right there in the front. Right
Yeah.
there, that black
Gorse
stone.
is all hell.
Wow.
There's that giant again with the two humans.
There he is again.
Look, that's
Like
scorched
Buddha.
too.
Yeah. Wow.
That's all scorched.
Yep.
Fuck. Wow, black,
Look at how that looks. It's all fucking been melted. It's all been hit.
Hit, dude, like H-I-double-T.
So yeah, I mean, it's got to be the fallen angels,
Right there.
man. Absolutely.
I'm right behind that. Yep. I second that notion. Either they did this or this happened because of them. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, probably both.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the Bible, God said he wouldn't, flood the world again to destroy it. He would hit it with fire. And if we're misunderstanding the whole mud flood concept, it's actually just a giant scorch. That kind of adds up with prophecy, or not prophecy, but with just, what God said back in the day. Looks like he kept his promise if we're, hitting it right with stuff getting scorched. I'm just saying. And
I mean,
the Bible leaves a bunch of, of 1,000 years, maybe even 2,000. Who even knows what the timeline of, not in the Bible. So anything could have happened after that. And
All right,
they're
so-
not going to add it into the Bible. Look at this stuff.
Are they saying that these are stone carvings?
I believe.
Yeah. Each one's supposedly individual to its own self. Everyone's different. I don't know what they are. I have no
Isn't
clue.
that that's Ming's army, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they come to life in the movie? What was that?
Yeah.
The Mummy?
Yeah.
It was.
Mummy 3 or something.
Third. Yep.
Stop right there. Stop.
They don't have heads. They don't have heads.
If you look right in the center of this picture, right to your right, there you go, is all brick. Do you see it?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, you can't miss that.
Those layers of bricks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but are you guys seeing that they don't have any heads?
Yeah, I'm seeing that as well.
Like, why don't all of those things have heads?
These things also look like they were built yesterday, bro. Look how smooth the horses are.
Yeah,
If
they
were thousands of
absolutely
years
do.
old.
They absolutely do.
It's not that they don't have heads; they just never put them on. You can tell nothing fell off of these things.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
They're empty.
The heads are detachable. Yes. But you can clearly see the mud mounds around them that they supposedly dug it out from. Looks like it's brick. That's interesting.
It looks like they're made out of mud, actually. Looks like they're made out of mud.
Oh, look, a dragon.
Whoa.
That's probably who scorched everything was a dragon.
Right, dude?
Especially in fucking Asia, they're all about red dragons and shit.
Is it possible that they're just people?
I'm saying, like, maybe they were just like, they knew this was gonna happen. They're like, fuck it, let's just wait for this shit to happen, You don't see any children there either. You know what I'm saying?
My girl Medusa was just like,
You saw
bizarre.
those.
They're all men. They're all like, regular human size. There's no children. That's where the orphan trains came from. Probably.
Yeah.
So what we got? We got 14. We got Chichen Itza.
Oh, nice, dude.
Chichen Itza.
That was exotic, dude.
What are we watching a countdown of?
The 25 most amazing ancient ruins.
Nice.
In quotations.
Aha.
All blacked.
There's your brick. There's day. Way up, and there's your fuck brick.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't wait for the show tomorrow. It's gonna be so good.
Bro, my fucking mind's gone. Like, I'm looking at this like, oh my god, that's brick.
Yeah, it's all expanded brick.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
Right. I'm looking at it so differently. And
Yeah, dude, this happened yesterday.
It's awesome.
That's all been hit. It's all charred.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Look at the top of that building.
It's like decaying away. That's crazy. It's honestly like depixelated. That's what it seems like to me. Obviously charred, but like depixelated. Like it just kind of came away or something. That's interesting.
They definitely don't look that old though.
No. Now I'm looking at it through these lenses.
Mm-hmm.
These things look like they were built yesterday.
Yeah.
This is where they played ancient Athens, right? Where they played, or ancient whatever, they played basketball for the first time, they said?
Yeah,
thousands
like
of years ago.
and stuff. Yeah. But they played to the death.
Hey, that's the only way to play, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
It'd be a little more interesting watching LeBron.
Whoa, look at all this crap.
Oh, yeah, this is...
this is the Acropolis in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No. This is fucking Springfield City Hall, but
Yeah, that's Masonic Temple.
That's a fucking building. That's that amphitheater.
Hey.
No, that looks like the other amphitheater we were looking at, Steve.
Can you go back a little bit? A little bit more? This part, okay, so look at the far left.
Yeah, B.
Then you know what I'm saying? Like you can definitely tell this was all one thing.
Yeah. If that melted more, you would think that was a mountaintop.
Hell
Steve,
yeah, you
Steve, remember the picture I sent you the other day? I said this whole top of this mountain was a building, and you're like, how can you tell?
Yeah.
Remember that? Okay, imagine this building here being melted to that point. I'll resend you that picture, and we'll take a look at it. But it's all
like a mountain.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Oh, there's the amphitheater again. Huge. It's not like you can miss this stuff either. It's kind of built on one of the highest points, it seems like. Wow. Look at that. I wonder what went on in there back in the day.
Just Zeus and the boys, you know.
You don't want to know, man.
Chilling.
I probably don't, actually.
Look at that ground. It's all melted. You can tell.
Yeah, and look at this. It's brick.
Exactly.
Whoa, that's steep.
What?
It's steep.
Oh, they said Epstein. I'm like, where?
That is really steep. That is really steep.
It was.
I mean, they had.
You could see the wall, but underneath the wall, the lower part, it's not like it's built on top of this mountain. That was part of the wall. It was part of the building. It just got dustified.
Probably a giant star fort.
Maybe.
Could have been. And I wonder if, like, these artificial lights over here are in disguise, because this building could probably still have enough energy inside of it to light itself up, as we saw at the 1896 World Fair. How all the buildings were just lit the fuck up.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Lit up, bro. Interesting. Beat fucking bricks on the side. That's nuts.
Exactly.
Like, who big? Okay, first of all, let's this is on top. Let's not even discuss that. Who has the technology to build a brick wall that big in the year fucking like what?
One.
Fucking 300? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, I'm gonna put a brick here and one here and one here and one here and get on my shoulders, get on his shoulders, get on his shoulders. We're gonna do it up over here and over here and over here. It'd take you like fucking 1,000 years.
You'd still be building it.
right, bro. Like, like we should have a contract right now. I should be finishing up the roof right now. Are you kidding me?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like they had shit to do. That would take forever.
Right, and these things were probably built with just like, one thought of the mind, like these ancient people and the ancient deities they were dealing with, the lowercase g gods, they could do things at the snap of a finger. Like, oh, here's your fucking 3 pyramids. Achoo, boom, here they are. It's like, wow.
My mom's in the chat.
I saw her in there.
Hi.
Hi, Mom.
Wow, there you go, Jen. That's fucking stuck in the ground.
Wow. Look at that shit. That's all brick.
When you go there, there's probably some white dude like.
Wow,
so these are 4,000 years old.
Look at the brick. You see the brick right there as soon as they pan over. I mean, come on.
They're not 4,000 years old.
This is Tartarian architecture.
Those main buildings got hit. Wow.
Oh
my God, that's got the Antiquitech on top, dude.
Remember the gold yesterday we were saying? They had gold like no one's business. Now, go invest in gold. Tell me how you make out. You know what I'm saying? It don't work like that anymore.
I think gold was a key component to some of their technology. And if you have people that have to mine into mountains to get gold, maybe it's the melted building that had that Antiquitech in it and it had gold as a part of its components.
Dude, like who lived here? Like Dracula or some fuck shit? Like what is that?
Dracula's dead, bro.
Did someone give speeches from way the fuck up here or something? Like why is Dracula's dead?
They had airships, dude. They had their own little airships that took them right up to those little windows and dropped them off.
Oh, there he is again, Mr. Big Ear. That's nice.
Bro, this brick.
It's all brick, dude.
Brick.
Wow. That ain't brick saying what the fuck, bro? Are you shitting me?
Bricks and Christmas lights on the inside, bro. That's what we're getting fooled with in the history books.
Yep.
Look at this, dude.
That's probably all brick under there.
Yeah, they painted it all.
Gold. Do you see that?
Yeah.
What the? And there's a miniature city on here. Are you kidding me? What is this about?
Don't worry about it, dude.
I'm worried. I'm worried that this dude was there, whatever that is. I'm worried he was like flying around, fucking it all up.
That's your alien. That's your.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, that's so dope.
What is that?
That was only number 11.
No,
that was 12, bro.
Oh, that's 12.
This is 11. Look at that son of a bitch, dude.
Look, this whole area was set up like a grid system. It looks like a circuit board when you look down on it. Even Teotihuacan does. I'll probably get to that in a minute, Teotihuacan. I don't see how they couldn't cover that in this. But clearly you can see these buildings were melted. Look at the steps at that one building. See how black it is?
Mm-hmm.
The steps are melted down.
Probably can't even get up there. I gotta get up there.
It's funny you said that, Jen, about the circuit board, because I actually found out about that years ago by watching Ancient Aliens.
Same.
Yeah, because they said even Teotihuacan is set up like a circuit board.
They give you bits of
look melted. Look how melted
stuff here and there.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Look at the top right of that. Wow. And this is what. So okay, so we went from this being like modern technology, and now we got to put fucking straw and shit on top of it to maintain it.
Well,
where'd the technology go? Where'd the ability go?
These buildings are not ancient. They were just hit harder than other areas. And that's why they have damage, and they call them ancient. And they're just deteriorating. They're in ruins now. No, they're not even they're just not ancient at all whatsoever.
Yeah, they just got beat. But I'm saying, like, where's the technology? Where's the ability for humans to do anything like this today on top of a whatever, whatever, like Machu Picchu. That's like 12,000 feet in the air.
Yeah. On this far right-hand side of the corner, you can see the brick under the charring.
Yep, absolutely. Look at that. Just in the middle of the fucking, looks like in the middle of the woods, forest. Yep. What the? You kidding me?
Where would you even get that stone?
Exactly. Karn, this is intense, bro. This is intense here. Look at that wall. Uh-oh. Whoops. I turned the volume on. I don't need to hear that, lady.
That was the public swimming pool over there.
Right?
Look at this wall, though. Are you serious?
Look at the wall and look at the people walking through it.
Right?
Come
Right,
They look
bro.
like ants.
Literal.
Like-
That's just intense, bro. Look at that.
And you can
This
tell
whole
by
area got wiped
the
out.
wall on the far left that this was all a building. One
Exactly.
Exactly, dude. They're going to tell you that this is some ancient ruin from way, way back in the day. And actually, it's not. It's probably within the last 500 years that this shit was thriving. You can see all the brick right there. All facade. All those carvings you see. Oh my God, how did they do it? See the facade falling off right there? That's right. It's all plaster of Paris, baby. Oh, it must have been so hard for them to carve
look
all
how
this.
smooth
No,
that
it
is.
wasn't.
Oh, look.
And
There's,
there I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I was saying there's a couple stiff dicks.
Oh
They're
my
all around the
gosh.
world.
I found a couple of those in my neighborhood. I'll show you that after. You won't believe what's written on the side of it.
I bet you did, Steve.
Yeah. Shut up.
Bro, those statues of like those quote Egyptian people, their faces are so smooth. There's no way they're thousands of years old.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. Now this thing here is called a stupa, and if you think back to the picture we just looked at a while back of the melted building that looked like a dome that had melted down. Imagine if this building melted all the way down and pancaked down. You'd probably have something similar type looking thing.
Wow.
Well, that one shot a second ago, it almost looked like what it looks like from the Capitol building in Washington.
Yeah.
Right here, you see the street going down, like going
it's a
away.
grid system,
Yes,
dude.
yes, dude, yes.
It's all electrical. It's all free energy. They had to set it up on the ground level because that's where the free energy comes right out of the ground. It's in the ether. And if they build their buildings the right way and in the right positions and have the Antiquitech built right into it, whereas we have, they build our buildings and then they have to come at electricians, got to come in and put the wiring in and stuff. No, this shit was already built right into the structures.
They knew how to manipulate the what would you call it? Like the chemical compounds of molecules, any molecule.
Yeah. All that is cooked brick, guys. All of it.
And it's all perfect though. See, I understand like how like they could carve like stuff like this, but like what about these Johnsons? How did they make those? So
yeah, that's weird. That's crazy, man.
Human, like all like perfect, you know, like they even put the little nipples on the guy, like
And his navel. He has a belly button, bro.
and he did it again over here, and again and again and again and again and again. Like this was just a regular Tuesday. It didn't take them hundreds of years to make a sculpture like it does nowadays, you know. Not hundreds of years, but years at a time. This was just like, hey, ha, boom, statue, you know, just like that. Look at the gargoyle.
Like it was no problem. Like they had the molds and the impressions and they just made them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the way we do today. And
I think
just
it was.
not ancient.
I think it was more like mental capability. I think these guys knew a lot of hidden keys that we don't know now. You know, about manipulating energy. I think that maybe not for things over here on the right, but the little statues at least, it was probably literally just a little block of stone and they said something and just tapped it right and poof, a bunch of stone disappeared and that's what's left. That's what I'm saying. That's what probably
happening. I can envision that, Steve.
Yeah. Look at this. What was that? A bunch of Nazi bells everywhere? You love to see it.
They're called stupas.
Wow.
They put stupid people in the stupas. Make them right again. All right, here's Teotihuacan. This is my favorite place. This is a grid system right here, guys. It got fried. Made out of brick, and you can see the brick on this bitch.
Oh, yeah.
That's not, red over there.
It's laid out like a, look at it.
It's totally like a circuit board. Yep. And it's like what, like 3 miles long or something from one end to the other of the causeway, the pyramid of the sun and the pyramid of the moon. Of course, we gave them these names. It wasn't what they really were.
Wow. What if that thing just like starts moving and takes off? Like I'd be pissing my pants, dude.
Takes off and just leaves. You're like, oh, see you later.
Makes
Would
sense.
you get in? Hey, if they wanted to pick you up, would you get in, Steve?
Maybe.
You can't tell
As
them.
long as I have a window seat, I'll get in because I want to look around, see what's going
If
on.
it has windows, yeah, I'm sure. At
Dude,
least
who
three
painted that
windows.
dude's face, bro?
That is creepy as fuck.
Someone
What?
painted that.
Why does he have googly eyes?
Someone painted it, and like, look, they had a sense of humor way back when, dude. Like, you just painted it yesterday.
Wait,
You know
Yeah.
what I found? I actually found a picture where they dug out around one of these dudes and he had a giant body. It was intense. I'll try to
No.
find
Yeah, they
that
all have
after.
giant bodies, dude. They all go way
No.
underground.
Yeah.
Really?
Huge,
I
bro.
believe that 100%. They
Dude,
really
it
dug
was-
one up though? They dug one up?
Yeah, they're not just heads, dude. They're all the way under the ground.
They're like 70
Oh
feet
my
tall, bro.
god. That's so cool.
You know, right on the edge of a cliff next to
Melted
the water. Right.
Cool.
No big deal. There's the entranceway, probably. Wow.
Oh my dude.
That one got melted. Look at that. It's one of the moai and it's all melted.
I think it was a mermaid.
There it is.
This place got fucking smoked.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, what do y'all think? How tall do you think this thing really is, and how far down do you think it really goes?
Well, just compared to the archway right next to it. So how big is this thing compared to that? This thing's supposed to be huge. This archway.
Oh shit! I didn't even see that. You
Yeah.
bastard.
So how big is that Coliseum compared to that?
I don't
Well,
know.
there's
This
It's like, it's like 150 feet tall.
Jen, those are cars. Those are not people.
Oh, I thought there was people off to the side there on the other end.
No, that's
Well,
like,
that thing's huge.
Those are cars. Yeah, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
wow.
Bro. Imagine how big this place is. I think it goes up probably another like 3 or 4 arches. There's a lot of old buildings. They do it like this. It'll be like arch, and then like a base layer, and then more arches, and then the beginning of the dome.
You see that archway over there, Steve? Like we were talking about.
Oh yeah, you can't.
Okay.
miss that
Do you see
now.
the grass part in
Yeah.
front of it? Are they? Is that steps? Is that steps?
It looks like it, sir.
Like what? Bro, what was this, bro?
Yeah.
I gotta know.
I know, dude.
All right, let's go to Italy.
I pray for clarity all the time on stuff like this. I'm like, if I'm preaching it wrong, God, like hit me with a zap or something, because this stuff is nuts.
Dude, there could have been a giant dome on top of that thing.
It
We
could have
don't
been.
even know. They don't tell us anything. They do, oh yeah, it's just an open air coliseum.
They stopped it like this.
This place
Uh-huh.
got 9/11 or something. You're right, and they stopped it.
They just stopped halfway. Said, "Fuck it, it's
It
good
was,
enough."
it was a false flag.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I feel with God's way of doing things, I feel like He might have left a lot of these things like halfway to, remind people of the power that He has, but at the same time, with the free will that we were given, give them the chance, the opportunity to be like, let's move on and do better, or let's take this technology and rebuild what we lost. Put the burden back on the human being. Make them make the choice. That's what
Bro.
I would do as a creator. It makes perfect sense.
This
Right.
Coliseum is all
I
brick.
mean,
It's
since you
tearing
said
the wheat
that,
from the tares. That's how you do it. If they go back to doing their old ways, lake of fire. If not, redemption. He makes it really easy, but it's a tricky easy.
well, that's what I was gonna say, bro. Is maybe if you want to get on like a spiritual level, maybe all of these places were evil places.
I believe that strongly. I do. I think he just said, I'm not having this. Boom, some sort of fire lightning strike, and everything got beat.
Look, something was here, bro. This is that patch of grass by the archway.
Yeah,
Oh,
something
yeah.
else was there. Something else was going on. You can see the steps right there on the left hand side, and it's coming out.
And like
the
I
grass.
said, how far down do you think this goes to? Because when you go in the
Oh, yeah.
Coliseum, you have to go down another 3 or 4 levels before you're on the ground.
The Coliseum
Yes,
was
you're
built with
absolutely
bricks.
And none of that
Oh
is
my
here.
God.
You can't see any of that. It's nuts, bro.
You
so
see
I
the
think
brick?
it went up
It
another
was
couple
built with
hundred
brick,
feet.
dude.
I
The
think it
Coliseum,
Yes,
the
it
Roman
was.
Coliseum was brick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You realized how much that person's put shit in perspective? The Coliseum was built with brick.
And then you have a giant hole in the middle of the desert in America, the Grand
And then
Canyon.
they put on a fake facade on the outside. It's like Disney World.
Yeah.
Everything that you think it's real, it's not. It's fake. It all has a facade on it.
And well,
like
real
finding
quick,
the
like I was
flyer
talking,
for
we
time
were
again.
talking with Paul yesterday, Jen. Shit, what was I about to say? It just came and went. Never mind. Never mind. Fuck, what was I gonna say there? Whatever. It was a good point. I'll have to re-listen to that. Oh, there's the archway. Look at that, dude.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And they're
3
going
little
to tell
arches
you
for, like,
That's
erosion
the
happened.
Arch of Triumph right there. So the victors would go through there, especially when they came back from conquering the world.
the Arch of Baal, actually, but yeah.
Exactly. Arch of Triumph. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Is it possible that this archway and the Colosseum and the little steps behind it in the grass were one, like attached to each other? Like this was the original entrance to the Colosseum? Like it went around?
It could have. You never know.
Like
The whole
who
complex
builds
is
this in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
There's an archway. Like here
I
you
remember
go.
what I was gonna say. So remember how they all kind of told us about the story of Pangea? Well, Pangea seems kind of realistic if you look at how the continents are laid out and how they all kind of just go together like one. So what if there was a Pangea and the Grand Canyon was a lot closer to Rome, Athens, Egypt than it is now, and all they had to do was just fly a couple 100 miles to the east or to the west and go to their Grand Canyon mine, get a couple 100,000 tons of brick, bring it over, and voila, there's your Colosseum.
Yeah.
Pangea also, if you look at it a certain way, the way I look at it, it's also biblical.
Yes.
Because of the Tower of Babel, he's like, no, all different languages. You know what? Get away from each other.
Exactly. He's like, good luck figuring it out now. Unfortunately, we're cockroaches, and we kind of got back to the. I mean, there's literally this exact thing, the Arch of Triumph, in like fucking thousands of different locations around the world. So clearly, we all but like back in the day, they all had the same recollection of the same type of empire, religion, whatever they were worshiping, but they just threw a different name on them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got Shiva, you got Apollo, Zeus, Nimrod, Osiris.
Well, after the different languages were
know?
given, so now you had different languages or different sounds for the same person.
Exactly.
And somehow they all do the same shit.
Right? Dude, the Colosseum was built with brick, dude. What has happened?
What has happened? I don't know.
It's all cooked.
It's so cooked.
Look at it. Look at, you can see where the facing fell off on the inside very top and the stuff underneath of it.
You get, oh my God. You can see where stands used to be, but it's all one slab now because it melted.
It melted, dude. Yes, you're right. Look at it. Look at all that. Look at the brick. It's brick, dude. It's fucking brick.
That's intense.
I feel like I found the flat earth for the first time again.
Dude, I know, right? It's like, I can't believe how bad we've been lied to.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty damn close. I don't know if I'd put it right up there.
Things.
And
it's making me think for sure.
Some white European is going to sit outside the Coliseum going, it fell off this way. It's so old.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if I could deal with the Great Wall of China being brick, bro.
Mm.
You might be dealing with something.
I mean, what is it made out of?
I think. Well, I think it's the Great Wall of Tartaria, in my opinion.
Oh my God!
Brick. It's fucking brick.
It is brick. It really is brick, man.
Dude, right, and all these little fucking crazy buildings that are unmakeable today made of brick.
Oh my God!
It built the most interesting, most awesome structures in the world made of brick, and now we live in shitty.
This kid's leaning on the outside of his house, basically thinking he's on some ancient shit, but that's just what his house is made out of.
Exactly.
Look at that white lady. Wow, I flew all the way here to lean on a house that I can lean in the States. It's
brick. Exactly, dude. It's the same brick everywhere you go. It's the same fucking brick, and it's all fucking popcorned out and blowed up.
So when was that supposedly made?
That's melted buildings, guys. See all that right there that they're walking through? All of that is melted buildings. And then you walk out to Petra. They're in Petra right now. They're heading out to those carvings in the rocks, which is not. It's all melted buildings, but the facing, some of it didn't get melted. No, dude.
That's crazy.
Sweeze, to answer your question, Great Wall of China, somewhere
16, right?
between. Well, it originally got started in apparently 220 BC and then finished in 1644.
Excuse me?
What? And they still had the same bricks?
I thought China built that wall because of Mongolia.
Yeah, I thought that too.
So they built it in 400 BC.
I think it was some Tartarian Empire who built this, probably in like a couple days.
Bro, that shit was built yesterday, cuz.
Yeah, so is that like a Mandela effect? Because I was taught in school.
Well, Mongolia is a Mandela effect because it was never that big.
No,
It was the size of it changed.
agree.
Right now,
It got smaller and Mongolia got bigger. Hold on a second. Tommy Rogers too has a comment here. And remember, we were just looking at that building a little bit further in the beginning where it had the big stone and then people had to walk up all those steps to get to the very top. It was a melted building. Right. And I told you it had those 3 claws at the entrance. He says Lion's Gate of Sigiriya Fortress, Sri Lanka, looks like a massive T-Rex lizard critter with the 3 toes on each paw. And that's what I was talking about. So when you enter into this building of whatever it is, it's got these 3 claws and they're huge. They're gigantic claws and they're all black. It's crazy looking.
Go back to the video, bro.
All right, get back to the video.
My mind is not done being destroyed.
Your mind is melting.
My brain is melting.
We're on what, like 4?
Yeah, Petra's number 4.
It doesn't feel. It feels like we're on 86, dude. There's so. What the hell is that thing?
It's
melted, bro.
That's what it is. It's a melted fucking building.
Wait,
You're gonna love this. Check this. You get through the canyon and
boom!
I'm your uncle. Look at that shit.
And most likely under that beautiful facade that we're looking at, that we're wondering how the hell did they carve this into the rock? It's actually brick under there.
Yeah.
The brick face.
Look,
At the very base, you can see the brick.
Yep. But still, how smooth they make this is just unreal. Facade or not, it's still incredible.
Hey, I have a question. If you're gonna spend that much time making these like really smooth columns and shit, why does the bottom of it look like trash with just regular bricks?
Because it got melted.
Look at how charred the.
That's what I'm saying. Like you would never build it like that. You know, they're obviously melted. You would never build it like that.
That's intense, bro.
Like this whole thing around it melted. Like this was parts of what it was untouched.
Yeah. Look at the right side of it. It looks like bricks that are just.
You're trying to say that people went in and carved this room out of the stone. No, this is all melted brick. Look at the ceiling. Do you remember the cave that we looked at with the melted brick? It didn't drip down, but it totally deformed it and made it go like all wonky into itself and everything.
That doesn't even make sense, carving it from the inside. Like,
why would you stop? You just like made an archway. Like, good job, boys.
Nice, boys.
Let's get out of here.
All buildings.
That was like the biggest prank ever.
Look, you could see it.
Build an archway to nowhere.
This was all building.
Exactly. Petra is pretty cool place. I would love to go visit it. It's pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
They have a big amphitheater too, right there. And the steps, you can see how they've been melted. See how they're all wavy and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all melted. All right, Steve, bring up that picture I just sent you in your messages. Since we looked at all this, I want to show you what a okay, there's those pictures, the claws of that ancient structure with the. We were just there. I think it was number 10 or something. You went all the way to the top, and we said that there was like, they say people climbed up there and built something on top of it, but that's actually the top of the building. What the fuck is that? Oh, they're surmising that's what it originally looked like before it melted.
Like based on what?
Now
based on
melted.
A fucking pole.
Wow.
Bro, look at this.
Yeah, that's the one where everybody was climbing up the side of it on there to make the steps to go up. Look at this fucking thing. This is insane, dude. And then you see the brick in the background. Right? You cannot get away from the brick. It's everywhere. I ain't going in there, that's for sure. Fuck that. Look at all that brick. You could tell it melted all the way. It's just crazy. I can't even believe what I'm seeing. Okay, so I sent you a picture. It's the most recent one I sent. Do you see it in there? Hopefully I sent it to you and nobody else. Yeah, Steve Richards. That is a melted building, guys. That's not just some fucking mountaintop. That was a whole building up there and it melted.
I mean, maybe.
It was. You can zoom in on that if you can, but you can see structure up there. And given everything else that we just looked at, a lot of these mountains aren't mountains. They're actually buildings.
Well, I mean, straight away down the middle at the very top, you can see what looks like almost like archways. Like this was like that part was a big wall. You could definitely see where a structure would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
totally
the split
possible.
down the left-hand side there. See that split, that division?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So there's that.
Wow. I can't, dude. You know, just
Oh yeah, all melted buildings here. Yep. Brick.
it's like this is like when people, if someone sees this who's not woke yet, they go, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, well," but dude, think about it. If you never saw this before, and I brought you here, and you're like, "What is this?" and I'm like, "Dude, this is 15,000 years old." You'd be like, "Yeah, it looks it."
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know what 15,000-year-old stone or brick would look like.
Right. And now that we've looked at what cooked brick looks like and what it does to brick when it expands out and forms these larger blocks and everything like that, and that most of these structures were actually brick. I mean, it all makes sense now. They've lied to us about everything, guys. Everything. The timeline is all fucking wrong. There's no fucking space. Brick. Just brick everywhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, most people you couldn't even bring this up to because they don't know how to use their minds.
Look at all the archaeologists, people who banked their whole careers on archaeology, got it all fucking wrong. I mean, either they know or they don't. I don't know.
It's possible that they know.
They probably do.
Because if you notice, there's very select, like just like scientists, right? There's a very select few people who can talk. I mean, one of the biggest scientists isn't even a fucking scientist, Bill Nye. Like he's just he's an actor. But people listen to him like he's spitting facts. Like he like what?
People are fucking stupid, man.
Like Dr. Phil. He's not a doctor.
His real name isn't even Phil.
It's ridiculous. Look at this.
Cooked brick. Look at that. All fucking cooked up and destroyed. That's creepy. But look at the huge archway. Look at these people going in here. I mean, they're tiny.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
What's up with these faces, dude? Were they like big statues or something that melted down?
Yeah. Yep.
We can definitely tell the faces are warped to hell.
Mm-hmm. It's all cooked.
That guy looks super happy though.
He looks drunk as shit.
Right?
He's like, y'all believe in this?
I got a melted bridge I can sell you.
Bro, look how, oh my god.
Yeah, man, this shit got blasted, dude.
And people are walking around like, yeah, you know, it's just old.
And never mind the trees that are only 100 years old.
Now this tree here is thousands of years, bro. What are you talking about?
That's a really good point.
Yeah, we covered that. The age of these trees, they're only get about 100 years old. And
I think I was on that show.
Yeah, there would be tree stumps of those trees all over because they die after 100 years. But clearly that's not the case. So within the last 200 years, maybe, look, the pyramids were all fucking brick.
They're just the biggest piles of bricks in the world.
And the outer facing, the outer facade got cooked off of it. Look at that rock right there. It's cooked. You can see all the holes in it.
What the hell's that thing wearing? Oh, you poor animal.
He looks like he's enjoying it, actually.
He's got to take Natalie around on the tour.
Oh,
what does she do? What does she do for work? She works at the gas station.
What is that building next to it? What they build there? Like a science place?
Yeah, it's a little visitor center kind of thing about the pyramids and all.
Yeah, because we know.
Look, even they had stuff on the ground. They even had roads. But no, you go to San Francisco or any of the countries, the cities here in America, and they're all mud.
Well, you know.
How long have I been muted for?
I don't know.
You assholes keep talking over me, but now I see that.
I didn't hear a word you said.
All
right, guys, well,
I blew my nose. That's what happened.
I'm going to get ready to get out of here because I was on for like 2 hours earlier with Brian. I'm on 3.5 hours now with you. My voice is starting to get a little wonky. I want to save it for tomorrow. We have a really big show. We're going to go over all of this melted brick stuff with the guy who knows about all this stuff. His name's Jerry. He has a channel called When the Buildings Cried. His channel used to be Subphotonic. If you don't know that he has a new channel, all the links will be in. They're already in the description for the notification for the show tomorrow. It's already up. So that'll be 1 p.m. my time Central, 2 p.m. Steve's time, 12 p.m. Central time, Mountain time, which is what he's on. So yeah,
Nice.
Everybody make sure you come over for that. We're gonna bang out a really good show. I can't wait.
Hell yeah. Be there, be square.
Yeah, and he's got a shit ton of stuff to present. I even told him, I said, you can screen share, do whatever you want, load up the pictures, get them ready, and we'll just tear through it all.
Awesome. Can't wait for that.
All right, guys. Well, I love you, Bobby. I'm so happy to see you back. If you decide to dip out again at any period of time, just give us a little something. Don't leave us just hanging. We were worried about you.
No, bro, it's better that way. No, but I'm pissed off. Like I went out there to Washington State. I cleared my head for a month. Basically no electronics that basically you would have, like your phone or whatever. Everything was just like put to the side, and I was just in nature. And then I just realized, and it clicked one day, and I was like, I'm going home. They're like, okay. I'm like, I'm pissed off.
I mean, how could you not be with all this crap going on right now, brother?
It's stupid. I'll tell you
How
that
long
right
were you
now.
out there for?
A month.
Where?
Washington State. My aunt and uncle live out there, so I went out there to clear my head, get away
I
from
thought you
everything.
were just like in the wilderness.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, the family built houses out there, like literally in the woods.
Brick houses?
Brick houses.
I had to say it. I'm sorry.
out in the woods, man. It was really nice to get away. And like when you're out there, like you're breathing in at night, you're outside, like you're just breathing in fresh air. No power lines going over your head. I didn't have a headache out there. My ears didn't ring when I was out there.
Nice.
It was beautiful.
Stayed out there.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
All right, guys. Well, I love all of you, and I love everybody in the chat. And I think that we had like about, 70 people here at one point when I looked at it. Let me see where we're at now.
Wait, did we get the number? We finished the video? What was number one?
The pyramid.
It was Egypt. The Egyptian pile of bricks we call a pyramid. That's clearly melted. If you look at the facing stones on the pyramid, you can see that they're all bubbled out, like they've deformed, but still kind of kept their shape next to the next one. But they're all bubbled out looking and stuff. Definitely hit with high heat.
That's funny.
That's great.
It's funny how it's really, really hot in Egypt in the summertime, well, in their summertime, but the bricks don't melt now, so it must have gotten really goddamn hot. People got to start thinking about that. 2,000 degrees Celsius. Celsius makes them bitches fucking start leaking, so you got to put that in perspective.
Yeah, it was most likely an event that took place that, say if it wasn't even a war, say if it was something like a Carrington event, like say our Mount Meru in the center of our plain which is electromagnetic. It has something to do with the sun and the moon, keeping them up there and rotating around. Well, what if somehow the circuit got short circuited somehow and it went up, hit the sun, and then the sun shot out shit from it electric wise? You know what I mean? And it was hitting things on the ground. We don't even know what happened. You know, they tried to tell us it was a Carrington event, that the sun had some major solar flare, mass ejection, and knocked out the whole grid and fried everything. You know, they could be telling a half truth there. Maybe it did come from the sun, but it was electromagnetic, and it was due to some short circuiting system going on with either what's in the center of our plane or whatever we were using around it to create this grid of free energy for the people who live here. I mean, circuit boards fry all the time for no reason sometimes, you know what I mean? Or it could be sabotage.
Funny, I mean, we're trusting the guy who makes circuit boards that, you know, get fried off of nothing to give us a vaccine.
Yeah.
It's funny how that works.
We need to break his ass up.
Yeah, right. He makes computers that get viruses by just Googling shit, but we're going to trust him with the antidote for a virus, you know. The irony there.
The irony of him with his viruses and him wanting to cure viruses. You can't even fix your own computer. You want to give me something that's going to cure a virus? Well, actually, viruses are good. It means my body's doing what it's supposed to do. It's getting rid of things that are toxic to my system.
Exactly. We'll have to talk another time more about that.
Yeah, all
right. Well, I hope to see everybody tomorrow. Me and Steve will be live. Like I said, look for the notifications. I love you guys, and, you know, enjoy the rest of the show. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, later.
See you later, Jen.
Peace.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna start wrapping it up. Do you guys got any closing statements you want to say real quick?
Nah, man, just that whole show just bugged me out the whole time, man.
Definitely.
You think, this is like it's hard to have like a new thing come along, and I think this is actually like a lot different from Mudflood even, you know? This is like totally different. This brings a whole new perspective on it.
It's a whole new ball game, and like I said, with the title of the show, you gotta look in the past to understand where the future's going. You know, if we got to understand that, you know, something happened to all these buildings around the world at different times for some reason. Some sort of reset event seemed to happen. And now, ironically, you have, you know, people like the World Economic Forum saying how we need a whole new world reset. And then the UN just made a new website called UNNWO.org. And it's just an interesting read about a worldwide reset. Goal for capitalism.
I did see that. I did see that. That was really interesting.
Yeah, they're not bluffing. You know, they're showing us their hand. That's the externalization of the hierarchy. We're gonna tell you what we're doing while we're doing it, and you can't stop us. It's ridiculous.
What is this website, bro? What is this website I just went to?
Oh, I don't know. I don't want to know.
I went to the UNNWO, and it's called the United Nations New Economic Paradigm. And you click on it, and it's a blue, and it says, "Let's take our planet back."
Yeah, yep. Take that back from them pesky little assholes who believe in Jesus Christ. God forbid.
It doesn't go anywhere. Like when I click like the links, it just doesn't go anywhere. It just stays on this "Let's take our planet back" screen. What the hell?
Keep scrolling down.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Really? Did they change the website? I haven't been on it.
There's an arrow that points down, and I click on it because the hand pops up, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Oh my God, they changed it.
What is happening, dude?
Wow. Let me just do a quick screen share real quick. Because anyone can go on any one of my videos over the past couple of weeks. We covered this ad nauseum. This is not the website that was up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, click that face.
It's the same website. Click the face.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
What does this website do? Hashtag 10 billion happy. What?
Exactly. It used to be 10 billion saved.
They want to. I don't know, bro. Okay, so UN Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030 are conspiracies to most people, but if you go on the UN and type Agenda 21 or Agenda 2030, they give you UN.org PDF files. And in this NWO website thing, before they, redid it, I guess, at the bottom it said, we're going to achieve our one world government by 2030, and by 2050, the whole world's going to be a utopia. And it just makes me think of that one article that we were talking about a little while ago with Elon Musk and Neuralink, talking about if you make it to the year 2050, you are not going to die because of advances in brain chip technology. So I find that all interesting, how they're all leading to the same road.
Dude, that's a really creepy message right there.
It's no bueno. But all right, I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. Thanks for coming. God bless everyone in the chat. Like, share, and subscribe. Bobby and Squeeze's channels, they're in the chat. I think Tommy Tell the Truth plugged them, so
yes,
check that out. You guys take care. Have a good night. Be easy, and we'll meet again.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Later, guys.
Later.
See you later.